Good evening, everyone. June 9th, select board meeting. Welcome on Zoom and in the room. Do we have any public comment this evening?
I have public comments. On the agenda items, where is it?
If it's an agenda item, we're happy.
But I have so much
Okay.
to say, I don't want to delay the rest of the items on this program after that. And I propose that that agenda item be postponed to another meeting.
Okay, can we deal with that when we get to that agenda item? Is that all right with you?
I'm sorry.
The idea
If you
of
let
postponing-
me present my material from last year,
What my plan is to give us maybe like 5 to 10 minutes to talk about it, and then if we need to postpone, we could postpone. Does that work for you?
it'll take me 10 minutes just to explain that day for me.
Okay.
That's my point.
Okay. Well,
There's a lot
Gary
of
is.
history on that.
Gary
that-
isn't here yet, so let's do that at the scheduled time, and we can talk about postponement, because I want you to be heard. I'm not trying to.
And I don't think Gary wants to hear what I have to say, so if you make the decision to postpone it, he can just go home,
Let's talk about it when we get to festival permits.
as you wish.
Okay. Any other public comment? Perry?
The paint on Lincoln Gap looks good.
Yay.
That was a couple weeks ago, I think. And then the ditches today look great. So, and then on the short-term rental question, can you fill in any? It seems like Granicus is being a monumental pain in the neck.
Carrie, can you hear Perry in the background there?
Yes, and Perry is correct in that statement.
We have the privilege of having Carrie Newton, who's the STR administrator, here with us this evening, and we do have an update from her that shows total approved applications at 121, identified STRs at 460, leaving the compliance rate at 26%. Applications pending action is 6, and the total payments received is 30,200. Carrie, can you talk us through these notes on the back, the compliance letter, technical issues?
Yeah, so the compliance letter was supposed to go out at the beginning of May, which was delayed because Granicus said that they had everything that was needed. Then they said that they sent it, and I confirmed that they had, and they were like, yep, we sent it to 2 owners. And I was like, what do you mean you sent it to 2 owners? So they thought it was a glitch on their end. It took a while to look into it to figure out what was going on. They said that it was because they didn't have the complete grand list. And then, so this is all like weeks of going back and forth with them to figure out what was going on. Their communication is super, super slow. So they ended up finding 79 more people to send it to. So far only 81 other owners have received the second letter. It's in our hands right now. They've said that they don't have the complete grand list, so I've been asking the listers for it, but there's a technical glitch on our end now apparently, so Julie has been working with North Branch to try to figure out how to get the grand list. So that's where we're at.
So they received the grand list when we first started working with them.
And they sent me the list that they received, and it only has about 1,000 owners on it.
Okay.
Okay. So what does this mean going forward?
I don't know what it means going forward. Their communication is so poor. Again, it is in our hands to get them the grand list, and then I think once they have it, they should hopefully be able to send out the remaining about 300 letters that need to go out. I asked about since they only have about 78% of addresses identified, I asked what's happening there, and they said that that's pretty typical, that they only identify about 78 when I was told that we were told during the discovery process that they had guaranteed about 90%. It sounds like there's nothing that can be done from them. to get that remaining 12% identified, but we'll never receive that full 100%, which I think was the intent with sending it out to the entire grant list, that initial round that went out.
Perry, you have a question?
So working with the numbers that you do have, like, you sent out 80 letters. Were they sent out like a couple of weeks ago, yesterday? Was there any success on the 80 and people getting off dead center and doing something?
Yeah, the 79 that just went out only went out at the end of last week.
So Granicus.
It did look like, so Patty and I were in the Express Pay, which is the credit card system that people can make payments to the town. We were in there for a different reason, and it did look like there was 3 or 4 SDR payments that had come in the last couple of days. So maybe people have received them and made payments, but
Okay, so once they get the grand list, then they can send the rest of the letters, and then at what point do we get to levying fines?
We have it that they have 14 days to comply, and then they can receive another, that letter states, I don't remember exactly what the verbiage is, but this should
And then
be
is that
there.
letter something we send or Granicus sends?
Granica sends.
Oh, joy, so it'll be another 4 months.
Yep.
Okay,
I'm hopeful that once they have the grand list, that these issues will be cleared up. Everyone else will receive the letters, and then we'll give it 2 more weeks to send out the 3rd round. I mean, hopefully it doesn't come to that, but
How many warnings are we giving people?
2, right? They got the first letter, then they get the compliance letter, and then we start levying fines.
yeah.
That's what the ordinance says. Carrie, there was a meeting at some point with Granicus, I think, that I had requested to be part of. Did that meeting happen?
I don't think so. I don't know that you would request, I don't recall you requesting to be a part of the meeting.
Okay, but did you meet with Granicus?
I had a phone call with our account manager,
Okay.
but it was go over like letters and things.
I think we need to set up a meeting with the account manager, either with the whole board or with 1 or 2 of us. Because the way that we're being treated for the amount of money that we're spending is just not acceptable.
Yep.
So let's loop back on that by email. It's not right that you're having to do that, so. Thank you. Thank you for coming tonight to give us the update.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, any other public comment? Yes, please.
Quail. I would just like to plant a seed as you prepare for next year's budget. My understanding is that there's a lot of organizations that ask the town for money that is put on the budget. And I guess I'd like to introduce the concept of getting something in return that's somewhat tangible to the public. And I'll use the 4th of July as an example. So if the organization that has the goats, for example, we needed goats for the 4th of July, or we could have used the goats for the 4th of July because people wanted animals up at the rec field. So maybe when the town gives them the money for that process, that maybe they are required to show up at the 4th of July to have their goats available for the public to see, and also give themselves the opportunity to share with everybody what it is that they do, and enhance their organization, as well as offer kind of like a public service. And thus, in the big picture of things, instead of continually giving organizations a fish, we start to teach them how to fish, so that it becomes more of a one-shot deal in giving to these organizations, and we enable them to eventually become self-sustaining without us continually having to give them money. And that would also offer opportunities for more organizations to possibly take advantage of a leg up occasionally, instead of always giving to the same organizations. So just to kind of plant that seed, I know that there's some other conversations about those organizations also needing to give a report as to.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we're all feeling a little bit like, where are they? Right?
Right.
And it's always been that they just sort of live on that special appropriations list. And some of them provide a report, some of them don't, some provide a budget, some don't. And we need sort of, I hear you, and I think
More
we
accountability,
need more
kind of.
accountability.
Bingo.
And
Accountability.
what I've been sort of asking for is like bare minimum, a budget. Where are our dollars going? What are you doing with this money? Show us the proof of
Right.
what we're supporting.
Right, and also by having a public venue to do that for themselves, as well as just come to a select board meeting and.
Yeah, that's an interesting
Present.
idea, and I wonder how we would apply that across the board. Maybe we could talk more about that. at
Right,
some
again,
point.
I'm just planting the seed.
Yeah.
It probably is a bigger conversation, but I just wanted to kind of.
Yeah, thank you for bringing that up again, and it's definitely something we're wanting to
Could I add
follow
to
through
that
on.
subject?
Yeah,
And when it's, let's say it's the Green Mountain Stage Race, make a connection to our town versus the Mad River Valley or your LLC that is benefiting from this. And all out of towners. You know,
Okay.
what's in it for the town?
Can I respond since he's addressed the Green Mountain Stage Race?
Well, as an example,
Sure.
on this subject.
Well, I mean, what's in it for the town is all these people come and spend their money here for 4 days and 4 nights. There's a lot of properties in Warren that they stay at. They rent, they eat out, they buy fuel, they buy food. You can ask the Warren store what their day is like on Friday, and it's busy because all these people are in town. So that's, you know, we're a recreation-based community. This is recreation that brings tourists to the area in large numbers, and they leave. You know, come Monday, they're gone. So they're here.
well, and so
I don't
we're
think
gonna,
rental of B&Bs,
we're gonna,
short-term rentals of people that live up at Sugar Bush is a benefit to
okay,
this.
Dave, we're gonna talk about the Green Mountain Stage Race when we get to festival
I'm
permits.
just giving you a preview.
I understand and I appreciate that. Also, we do not give a special appropriation to the Green Mountain Stage Race.
No, I'll give you some money tonight,
We
actually.
just give them a festival permit and they pay us. So it's a
Okay,
little bit
I
different.
misspoke then.
It's a little bit different. But thank you, and Quail, let's keep this conversation going. Okay, any other public comment? Great. Agenda changes. Rebecca, you had a couple things you want to add to
Yeah, I
other
just want
business
to
if time permits.
add paving if time allows, and then just a quick question about the Board of Civil Authority property tax assessment training.
Okay. Awesome. Before we dig any deeper, we need to elect a vice chair because our former vice chair has since resigned. Camilla, we miss you. Thank you very much for all of the time and effort you've given us. I would like to nominate Joel Taplin as the vice chair.
For a second.
All those in favor?
Aye. Congratulations.
Okay, great. We are moving on to festival permits. First up, we have the Pavilion Summer Concert Series.
Yep. So I'm sort of representing the group that's putting this on. So the first one would be.
Who is the group that is putting this
So
on?
right now it's just Dana and Marie and myself. It's just sort of when the town wrote the grant for the pavilion, it was put in there that the town would provide some concert series events once the pavilion was built, and so there's still funds in that grant among like the donations that they raised and stuff that needs to be spent, and so they figured that if we did a summer concert series, that would help fulfill that that request that was made about having, you know, events happen out there and to sort of, you know, get people to come out and use the green and use the pavilion and stuff. So there's not gonna be any food, there won't be any beverages, it'll just sort of be a BYOB, you know, maybe bring a picnic and have it on the green. That we will get porta potties and pretty much it. Since it's a town event, there'll be, you know, trash and litter removal to the dumpster. So, but there shouldn't be a lot with, you know, it being a picnic type of event.
But there, so the permit request should include parking facilities, right? You need,
Yeah, I mean, I
Yeah.
think it's just basically people will park here in the parking lot and around the area, around the green.
okay, we previously asked the wind down people, I think, to ask the cemetery commission if they could use that as auxiliary parking. Is that
Okay.
something that you guys,
We docked in, I don't think we feel like we need it.
okay,
Just because these events sort of are happening when there's not a lot of other activities happening. Ultra Band's on a Thursday. Glamour Cowboys and the Harwood Middle School Band, I think the 19th is maybe what day is that?
These are pavilion events?
pavilion
Yeah,
events.
Pavilion events,
Where there will be music in the pavilion
correct.
and picnicking on the lawn.
So it looks like maybe.
Any thoughts, any comments?
Do you have,
To the-
do you
from
have
the
dates
public?
for those, Rebecca?
Yeah, so
6/18,
June 18th,
8/19.
August 19th, and then the 12th of September.
What is the August, what kind of a day is that?
It's a Wednesday, so we will actually have to talk to the cemetery because that's a fire department night.
And the last one was September 12th?
12th, that's the Vermont Jazz Ensemble.
And
Oh,
what kind of a
really?
day is that?
That is, I think, a Saturday. Let me just look.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's a Saturday. It is.
Joel's got something that day?
I have something the day before, so I just know that it's.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I would say for the Wednesday,
Yep.
asking the cemetery commission about overflow parking.
I will do that.
It's only truck night for the fire department, so
okay.
it's not as big
So
a,
it's not a big of a.
half the people go to the other department, so
Yeah.
it's not,
Is it like truck cleaning?
it's not official training, it's just
yeah,
truck
truck maintenance.
truck
yeah.
cleaning and
Oh.
that, so it's not,
Great.
Not as busy?
not as many people, yeah.
Great. And maybe they'll wander on over.
Yeah.
Any other questions? Will you have people helping with parking, like we have the wind down people do?
Yes. Yep.
I think it sounds great.
Yeah,
The jazz ensemble last year was excellent.
Yeah, it was.
It really was. And we'll make sure that we put this out so that people, remember the dates and stuff. But
What's wine now?
we'll get
What's
there.
next?
We're getting there.
Next.
So do we have a motion to approve the application for a festival permit for the Pavilion Summer Music Series?
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, the next one is the Warren Wind Down. Is anyone here for that? No.
so I think you had basically said
We
that.
asked for a site map.
Yep. So they have a
which
site map.
we received.
Yep. And then on that second page of your.
I
that
just
you're
want to
holding in
call
your
out
hand.
that this site map includes Jim Crafts.
Selling ice cream.
Beautifully depicted, so giving ice cream
Giving. That's
to
right.
children only. Okay, all you adults in the
How about
audience.
people act like children?
This
Doesn't
is a
count.
really good picture.
Okay,
Isn't this great?
clarify.
Oh, you have the real one, yeah.
Oh, you have a copy?
No, I'm just looking at the one on the
On his phone.
on the line, on the phone.
So if you look at the second page of that, Jenny wrote about the alcohol permit, or the alcohol piece of it.
Lawson's has agreed to sell beer but requires a copy of the approved permit to complete their application for a special events permit from the Department of Liquor Licensing for the event. Okay, so I think what that means is that we conditionally approve it. I think we conditionally approve it based on receiving the permit from Department of Liquor Control and the certificate of insurance from Lawson's. And why do we still not have certificate of insurances from their vendors?
I don't know the answer to that.
Okay, so then it
I
is
will get that.
conditionally approved upon receiving all certificates of insurance from vendors. Gracie's Tamales. Right now it's just Gracie's, and I guess it's not beverages by the local, it's beverages by
Beverages by
Lawson's.
Lawson's.
Didn't we conditionally approve it last meeting?
Yeah. And I think
But they didn't,
they didn't get us the
oh,
vendor
they didn't get
COIs.
the- Right, right.
and thank you for the site map.
So I think,
So moved.
are you signing that?
So
It's
moved.
already conditionally approved, so we don't have to do anything.
Did we move it last time?
Didn't we,
I don't have a
It's
sign,
not
I don't have a
signed.
sign
So
permit
do-
from last
oh,
time.
all right.
I think you wanted them to get you some more information on.
Oh, we didn't conditionally,
The
okay.
alcohol.
They've got
I moved.
volunteers for traffic control, rope off alcohol area, porta potty, municipal lot, cemetery commission to be contacted. Have they done that yet?
As of today, they had not.
What is the date of this event? July 8th. They need to come back. It's already been conditionally approved.
Okay.
They need to
I
bring
thought
the things.
they were gonna be here tonight, so.
Yeah. Well, maybe they'll show up while we're doing the rest of it. Okay, we're gonna move on. Mad Marathon. Ian.
Quick, just say what it is, I know.
Oh, sorry, the Warren Wind Down is an event sponsored by the Planning Commission and the Historical Society for music, food, and alcohol on the green on July 8th, Wednesday, July 8th, from 5 to 8:30.
Just a little bit,
Alright,
just
is
a
this
little
not-
community.
They'll have music from, don't know, live music, kids' art activities. We don't know who the band is.
I don't know if they know that either.
What is that? I don't know.
Okay, well, let's move on to the Mad Marathon. Hi, Ian.
Hi.
We-
It's the 50th annual Mad Marathon. We will have, similar to last year in terms of 1,000 runners. And I was reading the Front Porch Forum and people are worried about events not helping the valley. What I would like to say is, in our second year, UVM did a study of our event, and that's so 13 years ago, the event brought in $1.5 million to the valley.
Wow.
Wow.
That's 13 years ago, so you imagine what it is now. You know, what we've done is expanded the event, as you know. On the Friday evening, we have a free concert with the Grift at the end of the Round Barn.
Ian, I don't want to interrupt you, but are there more chairs behind you, Gary? Do you see any?
There, I think
They're all
there's
out.
somebody behind the door.
There's a chair right here. Somebody-
Yeah, there's a chair right here. There's like 3 chairs that people can.
Do we can bring them, we can bring this one out.
Right here.
There are a couple of chairs in the middle. Sorry, Ian, please.
Yeah, so on Friday night, we have a free concert at the end of the Round Barn with the Grift. And that's actually sponsored by Lawson's. On the Saturday evening, we have another event at the, we have a carnival party at the Round Barn again, together with the Kids Fun Run on Saturday evening. And then of course the race on the Sunday, and as you know last year we added a 5K and a 10K, which actually has been quite successful because it means that when people come who are running the marathon and the half marathon, their spouses or other partners can actually do a short race if they want. All of our permits, apart from you, are in place. We have a VTRAN permit, we have a Waitsfield permit, because primarily the event is in Waitsfield. And we also have your insurance and all our vendor insurances through our sanctioning. We're sanctioned as usual by the USA Track and Field Association. Other than that, unless you've got questions, it's exactly the same as it always has been.
Did we have anybody running up Roxbury Mountain Road last year?
No,
I don't think so. So we solved that
I
problem.
think the signage was much better last year.
yeah.
Yeah, this is from the feedback that I got.
And
Good.
Jeff has asked for a couple of things.
Yeah,
And
okay.
we'll do that. Obviously.
He's always asking for
Right.
stuff.
Yeah.
He is always asking for stuff. Did we get the road closure
Yeah.
thing sorted out? It's not closed, it's a detour, or how do we do that?
Yeah, we put a detour up Dump Road,
Yeah.
which brings them up to Four Corners
Yeah.
so they can go out to
Yeah.
Roxbury Mountain. And
Yeah.
in fact, last year, I think Jeff said that 60 people did not bother that. They went up the normal way up Brook Road. The only way we can do that is to stop people going up Brook Road, but I don't think you want to do that because of the residences.
Right.
Yeah.
Is that a
Was it
Sunday,
problematic?
This is Sunday, yes. Sorry, July 12th.
Yes, sorry,
This
I
week?
should have
I
said
should have
that.
known, that's my birthday.
There you go. Happy birthday.
Dave, this is for you, this event.
We're still taking
You think
registration,
I'm that
so you can come
easy?
around.
That I would believe that?
No.
Ian, I'm just curious, how many of the runners are from the valley and how many are from out of town?
Interestingly enough, the last, in previous years, apart from last year, we've been very poor on Vermonters. The majority of people, you know, we have a huge number of people come from Florida, Texas, because it's hot down there and they think it's cool up here.
Right,
We're for a little surprise, but last year we had more Vermonters, and this year we've had more Vermonters. People in the valley, about the same number who've run it. One guy in the valley actually who entered yesterday says he's run every one. So, and in fact, interestingly enough, even with our current government, we've had quite a number of people from Canada this year, which is better than last year. We had a lot of people called off last year
Yeah.
because they didn't want to do their. Interestingly enough, there are some people from Canada who bring their RVs and do a tour of New England and stop and do the
Do a
race and
marathon.
go on to the next
Yeah.
one. So we're quite pleased that it's picked up again.
So they're registered or ready for a July event?
Mhm.
Makes sense. Stand jokes, you know. That's good.
Thank you, Ian. I move to approve
I
the,
I have just one comment, question.
Yes, please.
My only concern is being able to get to church at 11:15 or 11:30 in Moortown going up 100. And it's worked in the past.
Yeah, there's-
You know, that's, you can
One
get
end is
by.
open,
Yeah,
apart from the detour around Slow Road.
okay. well,
That's
I
closed
vaguely
from.
remember people running on the sidewalk.
Yeah, they run the
Yeah.
sidewalk and we
And I'm
cone.
saying, that's okay.
Yeah, we cone the home road.
Leave extra time.
In fact, the first year, interestingly,
leave early. That's right.
For church.
I do.
there's
I leave
another.
very early.
There's another guy who lives on the corner of Senor and Roxbury.
Yeah.
The first year he came out to me and said, I've got to get to church in Waterbury by 8 o'clock in the morning, how can I do it? And we said, do what you always do. And
Yeah. I've never had any trouble getting around.
Yeah, early or late is fine, it's just that in the midday, sometimes you get scared with it.
Yeah,
Harvey, you were saying?
I was saying, I move to approve the Mad Marathon Festival permit.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
thank you.
Thanks, Ian.
Thank you, Ian. Thanks for your work. More numbers this year, even post your wonderful publication last year?
We'll
Was that
have
last year?
about the same as last year.
Same as last year.
You know, we've always had, for the first year actually was the biggest year. We had 1,200 runners in the first year. Then we dropped down to about 750 after 2 or 3 years. And now we've gone up to having 1,000 for the last 2 or 3 years.
Do you want to sign that?
Maybe the same.
Yeah. Great, thank you very much. Okay, Green Mountain Stage Race. So it's come to my attention, Gary, that this may be a longer conversation than we had time to
Okay.
plan for this evening.
Okay.
And we've had a request from one of our members of the public to postpone so that we can discuss it at length.
Okay.
Would that be all right with you?
When would the meeting be?
We would probably move it to the next meeting, which would be
23rd.
the 23rd of June.
I don't know if I'm gonna be in town that day, so I'll have to check and see. My wife finishes work and I think we were gonna travel a little bit, so.
Okay, you can always attend remotely, if that's okay. It's always better to have you here,
Yeah.
it is easier, yeah.
Yes.
And are you familiar with some of what might be coming up as questions?
No, I'd love to hear what it
Okay,
is.
well, why don't we
Well,
just briefly?
Could I just say that you should read my emails from last year, and there was no follow-up meeting.
I don't
These
know.
calls went all the way to the state police.
Okay, Dave, have you sent emails to Gary?
Yes, I have.
With your concerns?
Yes, I have.
Okay, do you recall getting some emails from
I
Dave?
do recall him, yes.
Okay.
Trying to communicate during the event, so it was a little difficult to have a real conversation.
But I sent an
Okay.
email also.
Yes, yes.
So, if you can access those emails to refresh your memory on what some of his
Concerns seem to
concerns.
be people riding down the road by his house, people parking by his house. Those seem to be the main concerns.
In violation of your requirements for them town for the race, and you didn't take action during the race for cars parked illegally against your regulations for the event, and the workers there I hope they brought it to your attention, because they did nothing either to assess penalties, which it says in your regulations. I can read them, that they took them out.
So there were some parking concerns.
Illegal parking.
Illegal parking
By their
concerns.
regulations.
Understood.
Can you remind us where your house is? So that we know where.
So
100
West Hill
yards
Road, yeah.
from the intersection of 100 on West Hill Road before the bridge for Bradley Brook.
Thank you.
Okay.
So I'm happy to
here.
accommodate the concern about parking by putting no parking signs up there. I don't believe it's signed for no parking, and people do look for parking outside the village, which is what we tell them to do. I guess people park
Time
there.
trial specific penalties. There is no parking in Warren Village. This is what I was talking about.
Yeah, that isn't
Doing
more-
so may
Dave,
result in a
Dave.
$500 fine
Can
and
we-
a 1-minute
Dave.
GC
Can
penalty.
we please keep it civil? We don't.
Dave.
But apparently you're not listening, because I said this before, and you did
Dave,
nothing.
Dave, please, please. Adam, I'll control the meeting, thank you. I appreciate your desire to help. Can we please keep this civil? I know it's upsetting to you, I hear you. Can you please voice your opinions without yelling at us?
I already have, and there was no action taken, and that's why I've lost my patience.
And that's how the opinions were expressed at the time when I was busy putting the race on, so there wasn't really a conversation or a two-way conversation
Okay,
anyway.
so
But
I think
understand
what
it's
I'd like to
difficult.
facilitate is a conversation in which we can find some resolution and some actionable changes.
Sure.
And I don't think we have the amount of time that may take tonight.
Well, it's, again, I'm happy to defer. I need to get my state permit, so having.
I know you do, and we don't want to put you off, like, I know last year it got a little bit late.
Yeah, happy to try to figure it out again. It sounds relatively simple. He doesn't want people parking by his house, so we can put up no parking signs there. Again, I'm here for the 4th of July parade. I see people parked all the way up West Hill Road, almost to the top. But, again, we can work with him and put up the signs that he's concerned about. I don't know that I can slow people down and choose to ride their bikes down West Hill, which also seemed to have been a concern.
They were practicing in a Peloton down the hill on
Yeah, I think,
West Hill.
well, and this is
And I
something,
was in
but Gary,
jeopardy of my safety.
this is a concern that we heard from a number of citizens, which relates to the speed at which the bicyclists are traveling outside of race time and some safety concerns. So I think we need to have a bigger conversation about sort of the code of ethics, so to speak. There were some reports of indecent defecation in various places.
I haven't heard
and
that. We do provide portalets all around.
you may provide them, but they were not always used, and that isn't all your fault, but what can we do? And is this something that our community is feeling respected? And that's what we want to ensure.
Sure.
Right?
I would just mention, just as Ian did, this is the 25th year of the event. We've been in town for many of those years, so that
Yeah.
probably the whole 25 years has come at least partway through town.
Yeah,
at different
and I
times.
don't think anyone is
appreciate-
arguing that it shouldn't. I think there are a couple of concerns that we would like to find some solutions toward,
Sure.
if that works.
Yeah, I mean, maybe there's something you all could send about what the topics will be. I understand these two. I don't know if there's others, but
Yeah, why don't we work on that, and we'll get you on the agenda for the 23rd.
I don't know if that'll work, but
Okay, well, you let us know, and if that doesn't work, then we'll look at the next available meeting.
which is in
July
July 14th.
14th.
Second Tuesday, yeah.
Second and fourth Tuesday of every,
the race is over. It's September 4th to the
September.
7th. So this particular stage is on the 4th. It's the first stage.
okay, so if we get this sorted out by the end, hopefully by the middle of July,
Sure.
we should be good to go.
Yeah. that
Okay,
could work.
thank you, Gary. I understand this is not what you were expecting, but I
No, no, it's
appreciate your
perfectly fine.
flexibility.
There's always issues every year, and some people that can't be in their backyard, so I guess that's part of it as well. Glad to talk more and hear more about it.
Yeah, we'll be in touch via email as far as some of the concerns so that we can have a more constructive
I'll hold
conversation.
off from passing over my money to the town then until we have a conversation. How's that?
Thank you, Gary.
You're very welcome. Thank you.
I would like to make 2 more statements before he leaves.
Okay.
One is not enforcing the regulations that he put out for the bicyclists to follow,
Okay,
okay?
yep,
The other one is when I called him on this, his comment to me was, nobody cares.
Well, that's not accurate, but also it's hard to
It
have a
isn't?
conversation with someone who's yelling at you as you've seen tonight. So I'm again happy to have the conversation when we get the chance.
Thank you, Gary.
Next meeting, thank you.
Okay, Dave, I hear you that you'd like to, the race regulations enforced.
It was more than that, it was his attitude also, that they have regulations, we're not following, it's okay, who cares?
Okay, well, what we're gonna do is we're gonna put together sort of a list of concerns, both from you and the rest of, yes, please.
I just want to throw in, about 7 or 8 years ago, at one of the races, I had a little trouble. I'm at 115 Main Street,
Yeah.
and there was public urination and littering on my
Yeah.
property, and I communicated with Gary, and he was very respectful. He took care of all my concerns, and I haven't had any kind of problem with him. I think if you just talk to him like a guy.
Well, I talked to the stewards of the race.
The race day is probably not the day. I
Well,
don't know you.
That's when they park,
directly.
you see, that's when they park on race day. They're not there the day before.
I mean, he will take care of whatever problems you had.
He
was
did not.
He was super responsive with me.
He did not.
Well, thank you, and I think we'll try and facilitate a constructive conversation.
Have you read the regulations that he didn't follow?
Yes,
Dave.
I know if you
Okay.
urinate publicly.
I think we're done with this
some
topic
points
now.
as Well, I'm sorry,
It's okay.
I don't want to engage on this level.
Dave, we're gonna table it for now, per your request. We'll come back to it. And when we do, we're gonna be civil, please. It'll go better. Well, we'll get what we want with honey.
Do you want me to say something, or?
No.
I just want you to nod your head and move on. Okay, great, thank you. I'd like to move on, but Adam, I'm wondering if you might be here also for the wind down permit.
I'm here to answer any questions. or
Okay,
any
we went
feedback.
through it and no one was here, so we do have a couple of questions. Are you,
What time do you guys start, at 7?
I think this was on the agenda for 6:45.
We start at 6:30.
We start at 6:30.
Oh, I thought you start at 7, my bad.
It's all good. Thank you for the picture, we particularly like Jim. Lawson's is great. Have you contacted the cemetery commission?
I think Jenny reached out to them. I don't know if,
Okay, we don't have a communication that says yes or no, so let's follow up with that. And we need certificates of insurance.
yeah, we'll definitely provide this. It should
Okay.
be those, but like,
Typically, they come with the permit,
okay.
so that would be great. Otherwise, it's sort of conditionally approved, given the certificates of insurance, but it's easier to just approve it if they're all on board. And we understand that Lawson's needs the conditional approval in order to get their Department of Liquor license special permit, so we can provide that.
Yeah, okay.
Right now, we are conditionally approving it upon receipt of certificates of insurance for your vendors and a conversation with the cemetery commission about parking.
Got it. I'm on it.
So moved.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Cool. Do I sign it if it's conditional? All right. That brings us to the end of our permits. Oh, you want to sign it as well? And we are going to move on to a presentation from VHB on the Main Street Route 100 intersection, transportation and traffic calming. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Jess. Sorry, Dee Dee, I don't know how long I left you there. I struggle with looking at the computer screen, so I apologize. Hi, come on up,
Is there
please.
a preferred location for me?
Karen, right?
Yes.
Devin,
Joel?
Harvey. I don't know that any of us got to be at your walkabout.
I think Harvey was at the
I was there.
the site visit.
I was.
Please.
Very
Join
familiar
us.
to me, so that sounds right.
You were there? I didn't get to be there. so I didn't know who was there.
All right.
But we all
missed
have
it.
winter clothes on, so it's hard to
You
tell.
wore your
Yeah,
ski goggles,
hats and
Harvey?
gloves.
Chilly.
It was chill.
And we have a bunch of people in the audience, I think. Thank you so much, all of you village folks, for coming. Karen, you may remember some faces.
Yeah,
Do
definitely.
you want to share
I
the
do.
presentation?
I want to
We
share.
did also some big
I see that.
ones.
Appreciate that.
Share. This to go away.
I see there's lots of copies, so
Yeah,
This
exactly.
so pretty familiar at this
away.
point.
Is there any way to reduce the size of this? Can I do
Full screen? Yeah.
All right.
See, you could do this. Okay, Karen, take it away. I guess we looked at, I'm gonna let you do it.
Okay.
You do it.
So I guess just to set the stage here, we were asked to basically investigate and provide recommendations for traffic calming and sort of looking at the traffic safety, both at the intersection of Route 100 and Main Street, and then along Main Street from Route 100 to Brook Road. And so wanted to first sort of walk the corridor with folks and hear from the community on some of the concerns.
Sorry, Karen, 1 second. Is there a question in the audience?
Yeah, it's
Do
really
do you have a
distracting.
question?
What's the VHB?
VHB. Let's start there. This is Karen. She's from VHB.
Karen Santoff with VHB. We're an engineering firm and located here in Vermont, and are really focused on transportation and traffic, particularly on safety and traffic control.
So you were hired as a consultant?
Yes.
And you worked on the painting of the lines previously. That traffic
Not
study?
Karen
Not-
specifically,
not
but
VHB.
VHB, yes.
Yes. Yep.
Yes.
So we had the opportunity to do a site walk back in December. Many of the faces in the room here joined us out there on that cold day, just to hear the concerns and sort of walk the corridor and start to understand some of the sort of interactions that happen along the corridor, recognizing that it's a constrained environment. There's a lot going on. There's a desire for folks to be able to walk safely along the roadway. And so, really digging into what are some low cost sort of functional things that we can do to change the environment to help bring vehicle speeds down, as well as make it feel like a more comfortable environment for folks on foot. And so with that, we dug into some of the previous recommendations that have been made for not just that stretch, but other parts of town, and then looked at some of the sort of indicators that we look at. So looking at some of the crash history, looking at some of that information, taking that all into account and coming up with some fresh recommendations on what we could do to, again, sort of implement some low-cost solutions to help move in the direction that we want to have that sort of comfortable environment for folks, both behind the wheel and, folks that want to be able to walk that corridor comfortably. I'm gonna tick through here too, so I can see on my screen. So first, like I said, we sort of looked at the existing condition and also looked at previously proposed improvements. So I think on the second sheet in the packet that you have in front of you, the things that we highlight in turquoise are sort of the existing conditions and calling out some of the things that we're taking into account as we look at potential improvements along the route. And then in the white call-out boxes are some of the previously proposed treatments that some of my colleagues had helped to develop. Some of those do seem like, there's sort of a mix of things that could be low cost and simple improvements to implement, and then some of them would entail, a little more design, a little more in terms of construction. So recognizing that maybe there's some interim steps towards, those potential treatments. So I'll just tick through a couple of things that we really wanted to focus on. Obviously, the intersection was a focal area, so really thinking about that Main Street and Route 100 interaction and that intersection. There's a lot of pavement width there, so really thinking thoughtfully about what we could do to sort of better define that space. We recognized that there was a speed hump that was installed and then removed, and so we had seen it in December in its removed state. Recognizing that for folks that are attempting to walk along this stretch of roadway, there is that blind curve. It's sort of as you're approaching town, and recognizing that is sort of a challenge for the environment. The bridge is definitely a point of constraint, and we did actually look into the bridge condition and if there were opportunities to do something differently along the bridge for pedestrians. Given the age of the bridge, there's probably not an opportunity for something like cantilevering, a sidewalk or some pedestrian access along the bridge, just because it is, quite old and in the state of repair that it's in, but recognizing we did want to at least look and see if there were some opportunities there for future improvements.
Quick question, who owns the bridge? Can we modify it, or does the state have to get involved?
It's a town bridge.
It is a town
What
bridge.
about it?
We're on Main Street.
I know, but on modifications or cantilever,
It's actually slated for repair next spring. So we can talk about what that looks like. Okay.
well, I know on Bradley Brook, the state dictated the design. On Bradley Brook, replaced in 2019, ring a bell?
No.
West Hill,
Yeah, at the bottom of West Hill.
in my
No,
backyard.
the one on, yes,
Yeah.
but doesn't that have something to do with the wastewater that's there?
Well, no,
Or if there was
no, that
state
bridge,
funding
they
for it.
changed
There was state
the time,
funding.
they changed the direction, and the state dictated the design. That's why we had trouble later, because the wing wall didn't go far enough down, because they were relying on,
Maybe we were using state funds,
I don't know, it was Cindy involved.
but good to know. Yeah.
Previously, we did make some recommendations about enhancements to the existing bridge for lighting and sort of bridge rail, more decorative bridge rail. So there maybe are some opportunities there. And then, just recognizing some of the constraints or opportunities sort of along the stretch in front of the park and ride, recognizing there is a private parking space that needs to be maintained. Obviously, we want to optimize and utilize the park and ride lot. It serves a lot of purpose. Recognizing there is a small planted island there, that is a feature, but maybe an opportunity to expand upon that. And then just recognizing a couple of the other previously proposed improvements. There was a median island sort of gateway treatment right before the park and ride lot that was recommended previously. Some pedestrian enhancements to define the sort of edge line and create a wider shoulder for pedestrians to be able to utilize that space. I recognize the edge line is sort of still painted and visible, but the center line is worn in the current state. I don't think we could quite see all of that when we were out there in December, but coming in today, I was making note of some of those opportunities along that stretch. And then previously proposed mini roundabout at the intersection of Main Street and Brook Road. That probably would take, again, design, construction dollars, that maybe is at a level that we were thinking is a bit of a stretch. So thinking about, are there some interim improvements that could be implemented in the shorter term to address some of the concerns at that end of the corridor.
Are there, have any ideas come about other than the roundabout?
Yeah, so we touch on a couple in our recommended, improvements in sort of this effort and this scope of work. So we can definitely talk about those when we get there.
We certainly had a conversation about the roundabout when we did the first round.
Yeah.
No pun intended.
The round, excuse me, What's the purpose of your roundabout? To slow traffic?
Well, there's a couple of purposes. Yes, to slow traffic and sort of better define the space. There is sort of, there's some wide radii on the corners of that intersection, so really just helping to sort of guide folks where they should end up in that space and better delineate it. But yes, roundabouts do have a lot of traffic calming potential, and so oftentimes that's the.
Do you recommend that other than just putting a stop sign at the end of work?
So the interim recommendation that we're making out of this body of work is to do a stop sign and to bring in those corners to better define that space. So that would be the sort of interim change that would occur at that location.
Are there any pictures of what it was before it was just a wide pavement? Because I don't even remember.
Are you talking
I was
about
here.
Main Street and 100?
Yeah.
Now I
She's
think we're
talking about Brook Road and Main Street.
Oh, sorry.
No
It's okay.
problem. No problem.
It's okay.
All right, I'm gonna keep ticking through, but please do pepper me with questions. I'm hoping to
My
leave
only
some
one
space for discussion.
Before you leave us, you mentioned pedestrians and you're worried about the bridge. How many pedestrians are actually walking from Route 100 into the village? I can understand pedestrians leaving the park place.
There's people walking their dogs. There's 4 different apartments right here. There's 2 different people living here. There's children, 8 and 5.
Children.
There's babies across the street, okay? And there's people that walk around the entire Warren Village all the time. All the time, walking their dogs.
Guys,
They get out.
I want us to get into conversation. I also want to remind us that members of the audience, if you would please introduce yourself when you speak. We do know most of you, but Lisa Loomis, who will likely be reporting on this, is listening and not looking, and she doesn't know everyone by voice. So I'm sorry, this gentleman here in the
Warren Cox, I just got curious. The number of people that serve.
Warren Cause, is that your?
Cox, K-O-S-S.
Cos. And are you a Warren resident?
Yeah.
Excellent. Thank you for coming.
And what's your address?
Social
Your
security.
address.
Do you live in the village? No, we need to know
the actual
No, I
question.
don't live in the village.
You don't live in the village, but thank you for participating, and Gary was having it back and forth for Lisa.
In the current state of politics, I don't give my address yet.
That's fair. Is your question, Warren, about the
I was just
roundabout?
wondering whether there was some data generated on the pedestrian traffic, that's all.
Well, I think to Gary's point, I certainly see a lot of pedestrian traffic coming through that section, and even more so now that people working at the Pitcher Inn and the Warren store are housed on the opposite side of Route 100 at the bottom of West Hill.
It's just
Which
a
is-
question, not a...
Yeah, totally. I understood. We're just trying to answer it.
So, Quail.
Yes, Quail.
So I guess I would like to get a little more information, because that is one of the questions I have, is how many, like, through this conversation, how many people are we actually talking about that, what's the number?
I don't have a number.
It's more a matter of principle. You got a walking lane and you're saying you don't want to suggest people should walk to the post office, to the library? My neighbor has a heart condition. She walks 5 miles every day up Lincoln Gap Road, through the village and up one.
Yeah.
And she knows better than anyone about that traffic issue.
Right. Yes, Jess.
I guess I just am wondering, the,
Gentlemen, please.
Hold on.
I guess
Going in for another heart operation.
Dave, please.
wondering, the intent behind the question of how many people are, like, what is the thought, like, I don't wanna get stuck on it because I don't even understand
Well,
why
and
it
I
matters.
don't want us to rehash the need for traffic calming. I think
Right.
we've had a lot of,
That
a
is
number
my
of
point.
years of talking about the desire to slow traffic and increase pedestrian safety in the village. And that's been at the forefront of the board, and I think it's part of the town plan, and it's something that we've been committed to. Do you have a follow-up, Quail?
I'm curious. I mean, because we are a small town, and, I mean, depending on what we do here, we're talking about numbers, and we talk about budget, and we talk about taxes all the time. I'm not disputing it,
Absolutely.
I'm just asking a
Absolutely.
question, because I'm really curious for one thing, and I also haven't heard a number come up.
I don't
So
think
again-
I don't think we've done a study that would put a number on that, Quail, so I don't think we have an answer for you
If you talk
there.
about the 4th of July, there's 10,000 people. But if
Right.
you talk about
5 to 6.
5 to 6, okay.
Yeah.
But if you talk about all the people that stop at the park and ride to go look over the bridge
Yeah.
that are from out of town, I'd say there's easy 50 a day if not
And
more.
how about the swimmers, Gary?
More, yeah, plus all the kids swimming, all the kids bike down there and go swimming into the bridge
Bikers,
also.
not to mention the Green Mountain Stage Race, my favorite.
You know,
Okay,
they're-
I don't want us to spend too much time because we have limited time, and I'd love Karen to get through this. And then, Quail, your comment about cost is certainly one that we will have, and one of the reasons that Karen has given us so many things to pick and choose from. Please continue.
Okay. So ticking ahead here, maybe if you flip to the next page, I just wanted to provide a little more detail on some of the previously proposed improvements that had come up. Again, looking at a potential median treatment, sort of as you're approaching the park and ride lot. The mini roundabout that was previously proposed at Brook Road, and then some of the enhancements along the bridge. I think we're showing another bridge in town here, but it had sort of the call-outs of some of the sort of pedestrian scale lighting, and maybe some more decorative detail on the bridge rail, just to again enhance that environment, make it feel like you're entering a place and that has the effect of typically calming traffic and getting people to pay a little more attention. So it's that sort of placemaking to help calm traffic.
This is the bridge that is by the Warren store, is what you're thinking like would be replicated?
Yep.
And they suggested it on the Brook Road Bridge too, the one just past the school.
Provide continuity throughout
Yep.
town.
Yeah, but I would, no,
No.
I would say not cobblestone, so.
Everyone was quite clear that we didn't really want
It would be
cobblestone.
really loud.
Understood.
Lovely feature.
So like I said, some of what we do typically, especially at the intersection, just dig into some of the safety history to understand if there were any trends or patterns to some of the crashes that we were seeing. That gives us some sense of sort of the interactions that are happening at the intersection. No real pattern or trend, and recognizing that this is only the reported crashes. This is not a comprehensive look at everything that happens at this intersection on a daily basis. This is only what ends up in the crash reports that we can glean from the data. And
Just 100? Not on Main Street.
yeah, so all of the crashes that we had reports on are on that stretch of 100.
Did you look into the ones on Main Street?
We didn't see any for the last 5 years and 10 years that came
Well,
up
just-
for Main Street.
I personally reported at least 4.
Typically, we've been told that if a state trooper doesn't come out to it, then
The state trooper came to my fence.
yeah, we're
And the state trooper
we're seeing a
came,
serious
yeah.
problem with
and the state
respect to
trooper
what's
came
actually
to
making it to the
kid
diets.
who was ejected from his bike.
Right,
Yeah.
yeah.
They definitely.
And
both-
this is not the first time that you guys in particular, they
No.
live right on the corner there.
Yep.
And
No, I'm just
there
saying,
are
like, this
so
is-
many
seems
accidents
like
that
it's
don't
not-
seem to be reported.
Yeah, comprehensive.
I think it was 2 years ago, the Warren Village sign got hit once. Then it got hit again. Okay. And a car landed in my daughter's front yard. Took out the fence.
I don't think a state trooper came to the town sign ones though.
No, but those are 3 accidents
Yeah.
right there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I think we,
Plus a motorcycle
and Gary,
accident
we
right in front of
identified
her.
this during our meeting with V-Trans,
But it's
that
being
their
brought
data
up-
was
it's being
woefully
downplayed
lacking.
Here.
Yeah.
No one says woefully lacking
No.
on this. I'm just reiterating.
Understood,
Yeah.
understood.
And we heard many of those concerns as part of the site walk. I think there were folks that helped us to understand that there were many crashes that were not reported or accounted for in the data, and recognizing that there's likely many near misses that give people pause every time they pull onto Route 100 there. So definitely want to address the safety issue, but that's the data we have to work with, and data that we wanted to just make sure we were reviewing to see if there were any trends or patterns in that data that would be indicative of some of the challenges at the intersection.
Yeah, Karen, 1 second. Yes, Warren?
How many reports of pedestrians being hit by cars do you have?
No pedestrian crashes that came up in the data at least.
Over 10 years?
Over 10 years.
5.
Karen, why do these change? What's happening here? When I toggle through here.
It's just the 5-year history, and then we look back at the 10 just to
Okay,
see if
so
there
the
was
second
anything
one
else
is
to
the
pull
10-year?
out. Yeah.
Okay. All right, moving along.
All right, so with all of that information and all the information we gathered from the conversation with the community and walking along the corridor, we pulled together some additional recommendations that we would make, particularly focusing again on the sort of stretch between Route 100 and Brook Road. Some of the concerns that came up and some of the sort of treatments that we're recommending, certainly you all already have a great welcome sign into the village and sort of starting that placemaking. It does have the 25 mile per hour sort of, letting you know you're entering a place and the expectation is that you're going to slow down. That coupled with reinstalling the speed hump, which I went over a speed bump, I think, today, that has been reinstalled.
It hasn't been reinstalled. That's
reinstalled.
actually the uninstalled version of
That
the
is the
previous.
uninstalled,
Yeah.
because I thought it was right down to
That's the
like
uninstalled.
flat pavement, okay. So reinstalling the speed hump with proper design specifications. There's some great guidance out there. We also have a spec detail that we can share, but making sure that that is the right configuration for that location and making sure that it's navigable is an important thing to accomplish. The 25 mile per hour radar speed feedback sign, certainly something we often recommend in situations where we do see speeding behavior. It does have that sort of feedback loop for folks and reminds them that they're operating at a speed that's not tenable. So definitely maintaining that is part of the recommendation set here. We want to maintain that private parking space that's right before the park and ride lot, but then further define the entrance and exit to the park and ride lot, especially if we're thinking about maintaining that shoulder width and striping that shoulder width for pedestrians to have access along, I guess that's the west edge of Main Street there. Really better defining that space and delineating where folks are going to be coming in and out of that park and ride lot. I also think it opens up and creates an opportunity for maybe more plantings or some other placemaking treatment in that little island that's there today. So really better defining that space, and those driveway widths are quite wide in the configuration today. And then, one of the treatments that we really felt was, an opportunity in terms of trying to define that pedestrian space, but recognizing we're in quite a constrained environment here, is really defining those lane widths with striping and then defining a 3-foot shoulder that pedestrians can be using on that west edge of the current roadway width. So we're not talking about extending shoulders, we're not talking about reconstructing anything, we're really just talking about some simple striping to start to set the stage for that behavior change, really tightening the lane widths, giving a definition to the lane widths and where we expect people to be driving and making them feel constrained just based on that striping pattern.
Changing people's habits on that corner is the biggest challenge.
Absolutely.
And you almost have to make it a T, not this wide open wide.
Yep.
I think
and we'll toggle to that on the next page. I'm just looking through what else I want to call out here.
I saw it.
So,
narrow it down on the east side of the road.
Yep.
And force the people going into town to go around a median. Otherwise, they're going to come through that lane anyway. That's my experience.
So moving, I'm gonna get back to Route 100 and Main Street, but want to just touch on Brook Road and Main Street, recognizing that, you know, the previous recommendation was a roundabout at that location. Still think that is a great option, especially in terms of sort of creating a sense of place, getting that traffic calming benefit. Certainly there's safety benefits to having sort of that circular treatment at that location. But in the interim, something that we could do that is a low cost treatment is to reduce the corner radii on the Brook Road approach you know, turn that yield condition to a stop sign. So it creates that T intersection and sort of reoccupies some of that pavement width that's available for folks today.
And I just want to comment, historically, we once had a stop sign, and we had a lot of complaints from the resident on the corner. And we have done the striping, and it just doesn't work.
Yep.
Nobody follows it.
Yep. Yeah. It
Not that
probably
we-
gets worn pretty
Very,
quickly.
very quickly, yeah. Just letting you know.
Yep.
As far as the striping, I think the stop sign is, you know, a potential conversation. Yes, Warren?
What is the circumference, the diameter of a mini turning circle?
Roundabout?
Mini roundabout? They tend to be under 80 feet in scribe diameter.
80 feet diameter.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a very tight.
Yeah. And it would be fully mountable. Fully mountable. So even like the center island would be mountable, but you know, you wouldn't want to run a passenger car
Isn't
over
that
it.
going to present a tremendous problem when you're snow plowing?
Yeah, the road crew is firmly against the roundabout.
I would think so.
Very, very firmly opposed.
We have
Not doing
installed
the roundabout.
many roundabouts and they're
Expect more
cleared.
problems with a roundabout than just putting a stop sign.
Yeah, yeah. Understood, and for every community that is a little bit different, but there are plenty of roundabouts that have been installed in Vermont and they clear them just fine, so
But
it's
not that size.
that size as well. Yep.
Okay.
We know it's possible.
We know it's possible, but understand that it's not for every community. That's you know, every community is different on that subject.
Rather than striping on Brook Road, is it possible, like, is there ever a recommendation to do something like mountable apron or just plant, like rip it up and put more daylilies? I don't know
By
if enough
Patty Sue's
daylilies
house?
over there, yeah.
Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, like just
Yeah,
about
well,
the.
I think what I'd like to
extend
do
her
is
lawn
I'd really
into
love
the-
to let Karen get through the presentation and then I have some questions, I'm sure we all have some questions about some, like, cause she's gonna suggest that here at 100.
Well, that's
maybe
why I
that
was
is
looking
applicable
at it.
there as well.
It just wasn't suggested for that.
Yeah.
I didn't know if
Yeah,
that was-
and it totally depends. I mean, those are two great treatment options depending on, you know, potential budget for a project like that and what sort of aesthetic we're trying to achieve too. So those are more conversations that I'd like to get to because those treatments sort of depend on what the preferences are for
Yep.
sure.
Hi, Misha. Thank you for joining us. Karen, I just want to point out Misha is the director of the Mad River Path.
Yes,
And
hi Misha.
He's here and also going to be talking to us, I think, a bit about pedestrian safety from Riverside, or the park and ride through that intersection. So please chime in if you feel like you have something to offer, Misha.
Yeah.
Yes, Gary.
I was going to say that was not addressed in the amount of people that are coming
Yeah.
over the bridge, because that path is going to end up in Warren Village
It would definitely increase traffic there.
massively
Yeah.
on bicycles.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was actually, so Misha's been working with my colleagues Evan and Jen on the Mad River Path. And so when this intersection came up, they were definitely in my ear about the potential for crossings at this location in particular for that facility. So definitely keeping in mind some of the recommendations here may be applicable in sort of future iterations for the Mad River Path as well. And to your point, certainly a driver of demand from a pedestrian standpoint and a bicyclist standpoint. So at the intersection itself, certainly a wide swath of pavement there that we wanted to really think about how we could better define how folks are operating through that space. And one of the best ways to do that is to redefine the edge of roadway with still accommodating heavy vehicle movements through there. We would need a mountable section, sort of, I guess that's on the south side of the intersection, just so trucks and heavy vehicles would be able to make that movement. So they would, turn where the lane is, but probably track over that mountable section. But on the north side, really trying to reclaim a lot of that pavement and create sort of a hard edge line for folks. And what that effectively does is it forces folks that are turning onto Main Street from Route 100 to make that turn at one location instead of the opportunity to make that at many locations across that expansive pavement. And then for folks that are on Main Street and trying to get into traffic on Route 100, it really is optimizing sort of the best sightline that's available along that stretch of roadway. So sort of a balance of those two things landed us at the conceptual design that you see on paper. There are a couple of notes here of just, things to be aware of and sort of that potential treatment. We'd obviously need to remove and reset where the stop sign is. There is a manhole there for some utility, so we'd have to take that into consideration. But really trying to reduce that radii and really be intentional about how folks are navigating that intersection and very clearly delineating where they should be.
I agree with this. I think softening the corner on the right side or the north side is net. If you come out square like that and have to go down Route 100, there are people coming down Route 100 at excessive speeds all the time. Okay, so when you're at right angles like this and you're going across, you're at a very limited bit of time. But I would just make it a little softer so that you can be aimed in the direction that you want to go instead of square.
Okay.
Because there's not living there. This line of sight here is basically a blind corner.
Yep.
And depending on how these bushes are,
Yep.
depends on the speed coming down. Just on a note, my wife and I followed this line, which is that side of the road. If you look at the way it's drawn on the road with the double lines.
Yep.
We came out, we turned on the double line to go visit my daughter the other day, and someone flying down Route 100 started screaming at us, gave us the finger, went down behind us on our lane into the village. Okay? And there we were on the side of the double line.
Yeah, you're in their way. Happened to me too.
Right.
I squared up to see down there because
and they went past us easily at 50.
Yeah.
Easily at 50.
Yeah.
So it's what happens there all the time. All the time. But I don't think it can be that harsh.
Well, I wonder if there's an opportunity, why is there no mountable apron on the north side of that intersection?
We're saying that, it could be mountable, but what we're suggesting is to remove that pavement and landscape it, have it re-rest.
Right.
So it sort of eliminates that option altogether. We are showing.
Gary, would you, sorry.
We are.
Gary, can we?
I'm sorry, I apologize,
Thank you.
We are showing the minimum required radius here, so we can step back from that, but we wanted to show sort of the most aggressive opportunity here in terms of redefining that space.
Is that a curb there, or would that just be a grade into grass?
It would likely just be edge of pavement. We'd probably maintain the current location of the guardrail, because there is guardrail all the way around that corner, so we'd probably maintain that where it is.
Why?
And put something mountable?
Cost.
Cost.
This would just go from pavement to grass.
So you could drive over it if you need to.
You could, if you needed to, unless we put a tree there.
No trees on the corner. There's already sightline challenges.
Yeah.
No trees on the corner.
So speaking of the sightline challenges, and this is where I have a couple of questions about this intersection, but do you feel like this is a good time to do that?
Yeah,
at the end
please.
of our presentation?
Yep.
This is This is the last one, right? Okay. I have a couple of things. One, if we tee up that intersection, to Gary's point, the sight line coming south on 100 is not great, right? So imagine someone is slowing down to turn and there's someone coming behind them. They're going 60 and they don't see that person with their blinker on until they come right over the tip of the hill, right?
And they didn't notice the sign at the top of the hill before you
That's it.
get to it. It
Yeah,
says,
absolutely.
dangerous intersection, slow down.
Oh, that's true. And they haven't done that. And so is this right angle turn asking too much of someone who is simply trying to get out of the way? We've heard that sort of argument before. Like, if we make it too sharp, how do I get out of the way fast enough from people going too fast? So that's one point. The other thing I'm curious about is if we're looking at this intersection, creating continuity over to West Hill Road, how are we achieving that by turning traffic even further away from West Hill Road? And what would a potential crossing look like if we orient it that way?
I can answer, because I come out like Gary does, using that yellow line, double yellow line, to my advantage so I can see south.
Yep.
Put my blinker on going north, which
Yep.
means I have to block people from behind me that are gonna go around. And I'm not a very popular guy here.
And then
right?
you immediately
And then
put
I
your
go
left blinker.
out, straighten up the traffic, turn on my left signal, and I don't speed up. Because I gotta look up northbound to make sure I'm
Yeah,
can
I'm
make
not
it.
really
Otherwise,
asking about-
I'm a target for the northbound behind me.
I'm not really asking about cars, Dave. I'm curious more about bikes and pedestrians. How would that crossing work?
Well, if you're talking about bikes and pedestrians coming across in continuity with each other,
Yeah,
that's an insane thing to do, because you're on the highway for so long.
right.
The proper thing to do is to come across and go straight across it.
Like
Because you're on the
Sorry,
highway for the shortest amount of time.
Say that again, Gary.
Okay, so if you're talking about continuity being a straight line between
Right.
Main Street and West Hill,
Yep.
that's completely the wrong way to do it with a bicycle or walking, okay? Because what happens is you're on the highway for a very long period of time.
Yep.
If you come down across and then right angle across into the village,
Yep.
you're on the highway for a very short period of time.
Okay.
And any car coming, you can take 5 quick steps and you're off the highway.
So you're saying this improves the safety by putting you immediately across the highway
Right.
and then running along the side of it up to West Hill?
It just really hinders you getting out on heading north.
You took a cars out.
Yeah,
Talking
so,
both.
I mean, from a traffic safety standpoint, the ideal crossing at this location would be, we are really trying to maximize the sight lines for the person who is sitting at that stop bar.
Yeah.
And the ideal crossing location is adjacent to that. So it would be directly across from where we're showing, and we're creating an opportunity, right? There could be a landing here where we're reclaiming potential pavement space, right?
Yep.
That could be a landing for a crossing that is perpendicular to the roadway, because we really
Understood.
want that crossing to be at an intersection.
Yep.
Because people are expecting there to be interaction already, and perpendicular to the higher speed facility.
Okay.
Now it's a 50-mile-an-hour facility, so it's never going to be a marked crossing. That is the challenge, right, in this environment. But there are treatments for, and similar, treatments for locations that are, making that expectation that there's a pedestrian crossing. But it sort of falls outside of the bounds of a marked crossing. In the state of Vermont, a marked crossing is 40 miles an hour or slower.
Well, that's our goal, is to get V-Trans to pay attention to us
Right.
and make it 40 miles an hour. Are we getting closer?
I think we're
Do you
making
think-
progress
do you
in
think
that
we're getting
direction.
closer?
I think we're making progress in that direction, for
The
sure.
thing I see all the time at this intersection, okay, for the continuity to West Hill,
Yeah.
is I watch people, I'm right there in my driveway,
Yeah.
working on my cars or whatever, all the time. I see people coming up Main Street, looking over their shoulder across to the highway, so they don't have to stop at the stop sign.
Right.
They're using it as an on-ramp
Yep.
to the highway.
Yeah.
And they also go straight, I've seen them 50 miles an hour, straight across, and then up West Hill,
Yeah.
okay?
I'm more
Sherry,
risk-averse than that.
I'd love to hear from you. Hi.
Thank you.
Sherry
I
Sherman
also
in the
think
back.
when the speed bumps come back, they're gonna be a real slowdowner for both people exiting the village
Yeah.
and people coming into the village.
Right.
You know, once people get that, oh my gosh, I got that bump, I can't come through here 50 miles an hour.
Let's talk about the hump.
Yes, bring it back, bring the hump back.
I will say that when we think about continuity between Main Street and West Hill Road, I would actually think about replicating the treatment that we're showing here on West Hill Road and really defining that intersection as well.
Yeah.
So that you have more space between those two intersections, and that really defines how everyone's going to interact in that sort of series of intersections.
To her point, I do that now. Come out, over, and up.
Yeah.
I don't curve anything off. And if they hit me and I'm on.
Is this where you're talking about the sidewalk?
I'm in the right.
Or over here?
Over there.
I mean, you could have it on either side, but looking at the site, I think if you come off of this corner directly across and then made, you know, the connection on this side.
But isn't
to
the
West
walk
Hill
on
Road.
this side?
Yeah.
So you'd have to cross.
You would have to cross. It could be at the intersection,
It's a big picture.
but yes.
Clarifying where potential crosswalks would be.
Yeah, I
And
mean-
Misha,
So the
please
walk's on
speak
this
up if you
side.
have thoughts here.
Yeah, and so ideally at the intersection, and we're sort of maximizing the sight line for this location. So, you know, on either side, it's just, I don't know how much opportunity there might be to land folks on this side of the intersection. It looks like there's more opportunity to land folks on this side.
So the options are, the walking's on this side, the walkway.
Yep.
You can cross somewhere here, then walk up this side and then cross.
If we were doing that, I think we'd want to
That's
cross
option
people
one. Option one.
at the intersection.
The crowd is spoken.
Option two, we stay on this side and I guess you walk up through here and cross up here and then walk over.
That's the shortest distance to get across.
Well, here you have to cross two streets too. That's the last one.
Yeah,
That's a bad place.
you would stay on the west side.
So for the folks that live there, you would rather see the walk go on this side than cross over?
Yeah.
All right.
I don't care how you do it. I'm gonna do what I always do. I go.
I'm glad you're gonna do what you're gonna do. I want to hear what everybody else thinks too.
Well, I'm telling you.
I know.
You can't
I know you're
tell
telling
a
me.
walker where to go. And I go where it's safe. I go straight across 100 and walk up to West Hill. I never go to the bend.
Wait,
Never.
you cross
I'm
here?
Walking. Even with my bike, I do it.
You cross here?
I can hear very well.
Wait.
He said,
Cross here or here? Where do you
Real
cross?
simple. I walk here from Gary's house. I'm on this side because I see cars coming. Then I'll cross over here when they see me. Then I come right here. I'll go across the grass and there, and then go all the way over here and get close to the guardrail so I don't, minimize
So you like this
my
side?
exposure.
You agree with everybody
Even
else?
with my bike.
Okay, good.
I'm going all over the place with my bike.
Okay.
The bike is for.
The line guys.
We don't need any
follow
lines.
Dave's rule.
Right.
We don't need no lodges.
So that understand.
We're gonna
I was thinking we
draw
needed
that
a
in
virtual
right here.
Dave. Adam, can you make us a Dave instead of a Jim?
Better from the side. So.
Okay, thank you. I love the conversation. Warren, yes, you have a thought?
On the right side.
Wait, Harvey, will you come back? Warren has a comment.
Put that back. What's happening to the right section on that road? This will.
They're saying,
This part.
they're saying take our.
Yeah, we're gonna reclaim that. It won't be pavement anymore.
It will be paved.
Won't be
It
paved.
won't be paved.
It'll be grass.
It could be mountable, that is an option in terms of treatment,
When
but
I bike out, I find that positive, because you can float into.
Well, you're dangerous, man. I go straight across the road if you're going up
Try
this
to go
hill.
north, that gives you a better line if you're on a bike.
So, Warren, I think that speaks to Gary's concern that this might be a little bit too constrained, and that easing up on that turning radius on the north side might be beneficial. But I really do want us to keep in mind this intersection has gone through at least 3 other iterations, and they've tried a lot of things. We haven't tried this. Physically, we've tried it with striping, but we haven't tried it physically.
If you take that turn and if you're going north.
Not West Hill, you're
But if
going
we're
north.
talking about a bike, Warren, you do still have the shoulder available to you that whole time, right? And even if we reclaim this with grass, I'm wondering if there might be a modification that offers a small portion of mountable surface, to Gary's point, and mostly reclaimed.
If you don't stop your bike and get off of it and stand and look and listen for about 2 seconds to make sure they're going so fast, you better be not going out without listening or looking.
If you're coming off Main Street, you want to go north on the thing, you just stay on the right the whole.
You're reckless because they're coming at 60 miles an hour from the south.
I happen to agree with Dave here, Warren, even just as a driver. I've been testing these in the last couple of weeks, and teeing up to Route 100 gives you a much better sight line south, and it really does feel a lot safer pulling out.
Better stop.
Adam, you had a comment.
Is there gonna be some point where we're going to have a dress rehearsal of this, try it out, put tones?
Yeah, was that something that we had talked about, running a couple of pilots?
We could certainly trial a demonstration. We would need a section 1111 because it is state route. So, it would be a process to get to that point, but certainly there's guidance on, how to do the demonstrations with VTrans as part of the equation. So it's definitely worth, and then you can have your, town highway guys come out and actually run it with their trucks and get a feel for what it would feel like to actually have that treatment in place.
Misha, will you jump in on this?
Well, it's great because we're working together, because we just completed that application for a demonstration project. I'm just waiting to hear from you guys. And we identified the crossing right where you identified the crossing right there, a perpendicular crossing, and then a section to be determined. How do you get to West Hill Road safely? But to your point, Adam, that's be really important to set it up, to mock it up, whichever way you all decide to do it, and to get everybody to go over there, to walk across, to bike across, to drive across, and get feedback over a period of 2 weeks, and then make decision based on what we've learned from it.
So to Misha's point, is this a demonstration that could incorporate, could we do this all at once? Could we realign the entrance to the village and provide a demonstration for the crossing?
And I think we would want to, because I see these things going hand in hand. I don't know that I would feel comfortable as a professional engineer of recommending a crossing without bringing that intersection in and really defining where people need to be driving. So I do think I think these things work hand in hand.
A white line with orange cones would certainly be a good test.
Sorry?
A white line with orange cones on the inside of it.
Yeah.
Would certainly be a good test. You'll get a lot of testy people. But
We're used to that, Gary. Jess, you had a thought?
In that demonstration, probably should use a video
Sorry, can
camera
we
to see the
please,
vehicles.
we're running out of time, team, so if we could stay on task, that would be great.
I really like how this plan, and then especially if West Hill was treated the same way, defines all of these as separate intersections instead of one sort of chaotic 4-way, potentially 5-way intersection, depending how you want to look at it. So I think that is really, I think that really helps. I do wonder if part of the plan from Vermont, if they're not willing to lower, from the state, if they're not willing to lower the speed, would be, could they provide more paint, stripes, where it says slow, on the.
They're not going to do it.
Highway.
They'll maybe let us do it.
Let us paint stripes on the highway, so that near the sign that says you're coming to a convoluted intersection, could there just be yellow stripes also across, what they get?
Is there something in your toolkit for that?
I mean, you're thinking of something like a.
That just brings attention to the sign, maybe why are there stripes on the road? Oh no, there's a sign here that says we're going.
I mean, there are things like transverse markings. We have had some.
Are those little dots that get closer to?
Yeah, exactly. So it gives it. And we've gotten closer in other application areas to have something like that. But yeah, it's really tough because there's not really a great like uniform traffic control pavement marking method for the kind of
The
thing
thing
that you're
is
looking
that
for.
every male from 16 to 70 is just gonna go blowing right past them once they get used to it.
And some females too. Don't leave that
I do think that defining the two intersections goes a long way, and I think that is the kind of thing that the agency wants to see happen in these places where it's sort of ill-defined, and it does make for sort of to your point, it sort of is this complex, convoluted sort of approach to that area that really, if you're better delineating and better defining, makes it safer, makes it easier to navigate, and forces people to slow down. So it really is sort of the thing that they want to see.
There's one aspect missing in this whole equation here is state law enforcement of the speed limit, and that's how you're going to change habits, and they don't have the manpower. So that's why they're
they
not
are
in this
doing
equation.
a better job of giving us the hours that they ask, that they quote us, and we can certainly ask them to pay attention to the intersection.
Sheriff's Department or state police?
The Sheriff's Department.
I'm saying the demonstration should include the state cop standing there, and he can just make notes on what's happening.
When we look at this, speaking to like the different lines of sight and ease to get out of the village onto 100 versus like having people come into the village, is there a thought process around a mountable triangle like in the middle, like that?
Well, we did the triangle.
Yeah.
We did the triangle.
And that did not.
People drove over it, through it.
Yeah, I don't think it was great.
Okay.
So we're running out of time for this portion of our meeting, but what I'd like to sort of know from the board and the public is, does this feel like something we want to put some energy and some money into running at least a demonstration and getting some feedback on whether or not this might work? We'll start with the board.
I think it's a good idea. I do too.
Public.
I think it's a great idea, especially since you're bringing the path.
Jess.
It's a good idea, you just have to.
I love this idea.
Slow down the northbound 100 traffic. That northbound traffic ripping into that area has no idea sometimes, and they're running 70, 80 miles per hour.
Yeah.
That's no joke.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
I love this idea, especially for the state portion of the road. Does this, I've heard some bring back the hum vibes. Does that factor into this, or is that a separate conversation because it's not state? Are we like voting on this first? Is that a standalone?
So this doesn't involve the state at all, with the exception of needing an 1111 permit. Is that right? 111 or 1111? 11 permit.
Yeah.
1111 permit. So as you may recall, we went to V-Trans and we were like, please pay attention to us. This intersection is terrible. What can we do? Please reduce the speed limit. The long and the short of it was like, we have no plans for you, and we're not going to get to you for like at least 10 years. And even
They basically installed new signage.
They went from uppercase to lowercase.
They trimmed trees, and that was sort of the extent.
So we said, okay, we hear you, and what can we do? And so we engaged with Karen. And so I think your question might be, maybe you can answer that to us, like, what does this do for the speed hump? Is it still potentially necessary? Is it something that we should be reinstalling?
Yes. I think that this is going to have a traffic calming effect, but that vertical treatment is going to reinforce that calming effect, right? So, I mean, that is definitely something to consider.
They're already there. And that's something that the town can do now versus like,
the demonstration.
And then the speed at which the Titanic that is the state must turn to reassess what it has left behind.
Right.
In shambles.
Yeah. Marilyn.
Quick question.
Warren, sorry, 1 second.
Quick question.
Marilyn.
The original speed humps, I'm just curious that they got put in and had to be taken out right away because they were incorrect. Where was the liability there? Who did it wrong?
We're not gonna go down that road tonight.
I would love to not answer that question, Marilyn, but honestly, the specs were changed day of installation, by Pike.
By Pike, yeah.
We had done a walkthrough, we had talked about lift, we had talked about depth, they made them half as wide and twice as tall.
Did they pay to take them out?
They broke a deal with us.
Okay.
We paid for 3 humps instead of 5. And they removed what they did inaccurately.
So would they be the ones reinstalling?
No.
We hope not.
Good.
I think as a company, they have, how do I say this?
They've decided not to do speed humps anymore.
For anyone.
For anyone,
Oh,
across the board.
Do we have an option?
We do.
Okay, great.
So could we include the hump in this, like, decision about also?
Yeah, I think there's a larger decision, aside from just this demonstration, which I think, it sounds to me like there's a lot of positive momentum for the demonstration, and I know that this is something Misha wants for the crossing, so it feels like a really good opportunity to maybe do that all at once. And so I'd love, Karen, if you could maybe stay for Misha's presentation and we can talk about how we can make that work.
Yep.
And then just to your point, I think there's a larger scope here, both for Main Street down to the park and ride and the restriping of some of the things that we already have in the village, including 2 speed tables that have not been marked, crosswalks that need to be moved and marked. And we need to sort of make a decision about what we want to do with respect to all of that striping.
So the hump goes with like the downtown aspect and not the traffic calming here when we're talking about it?
The hump's getting replaced shortly, right?
I think
that's what we're talking about.
that's one of the things that we were talking about, and we're wanting some advice from VHB, and whatever we do, we want specs.
Are we just kicking the can down the road 20 years and saying, no, we better make it one-way or pedestrian only, Main Street? Main Street. You
Just
can't
to
move-
complicate matters a little.
Hey, think of the future.
Think of the future.
Either those,
Sorry, Warren, yes, please.
What's the chances of putting one of these flashing speed signs on 100?
On 100.
For
Have you-
northbound traffic,
They've said no to us.
before you
Yeah.
get to Main Street.
They've said no. They
You
said
can't
there
put
isn't
anything on
enough
there.
evidence of crashes to warrant a speed sign.
so many crashes go unidentified.
We know.
No, you did? Which ones were they? I was there and watched them. Because I called the state police, they didn't show up and the car was towed away.
We can,
What I know, Dave, is that we've heard from all of you that there are a lot of crashes that are not being reported, or they're being reported and not being logged with the state system. We saw that with V-Trans. We agree. We are trying to do what we can at the town level to help.
Thank you.
So is that possible?
I think,
A sign for northbound traffic prior to the turn on Main.
Warren, we have been told by V-Trans that we are not eligible for a flashing speed sign because there is not enough evidence to support its need.
And we can't legally put anything on Route 100. It doesn't belong to us.
I think we disagree, we respectfully disagree with V-Trans, and we don't have the power to do anything about it.
What if we volunteer to have car crashes there?
Adam, do you have a question?
I just have like a quick technical question.
Yeah.
This mid-block median island,
yes.
that's like that's a narrowing measure, or what's the purpose of that? The mid-block median.
It has a couple of different purposes, but from a traffic calming perspective, having that sort of horizontal shift for folks does, and the channelizing effect helps to calm traffic. So it helps to bring the speed down. You have to make a maneuver, and you are now in a what is perceived to be a tighter space, even though it's probably the same lane width, but perceived to be a tighter space. So it has the effect of bringing speed
This
down.
is another measure that the road crew is firmly opposed to.
Yeah.
What about, you
So-
you've tried, what about our state reps? Did they push it?
We have spoken with our state reps, one of whom is on the transportation committee, and we are trying. And our hope is that if we bring attention to this intersection with the path, with it looks to me like we have 3 roads that we could potentially improve the intersection of. We have a better argument to make to V-Trans to say, hey, look, there's a lot happening here. Please reduce the speed to 40.
That's almost the reverse, that they'll say you already solved the solution problem. We don't need to do anything.
So,
I think you need to push it before you make an easy out. That's all you gotta do.
We've been working on V-Trans for years and getting nowhere. So I understand that there are a lot of questions. I'm going to talk to the board for a second. Give me a minute here. I wonder, we need to move on from this conversation and continue with our agenda. What should we do? Do you want to postpone the decision on other traffic calming measures that we may or may not want to engage with? We have a scope of striping that we need to decide on relatively soon for the existing grant in the village. When they come, we could add some of these things that will cover, the scope of that grant does cover any striping up to Riverside Park. So any striping, or is it not?
Main
sorry.
Street.
What, the park and ride?
Yeah.
The park and ride. Anything we do beyond that is outside that scope of the grant, but something that we could certainly do on our own. And I just want to be mindful of our time and how we make those decisions.
So what are you asking?
When do we want to do that?
Which part?
The striping. So I think there are some treatments that are suggested here.
I think we need to stripe the existing humps ASAP.
Yep.
Yeah.
But I wonder if we could get, like, if we want this one reinstalled.
They're not gonna come and do that and then come back. They won't. They wanna
should be
come
striped after they've been
and spend a day in Warren. Yeah.
So are we saying, do we want to reinstall a hump
yes.
up there and then stripe everything? Is that the question?
Yeah, and do we, I mean, my thought is we should continue the pedestrian striping along the west side of the road, narrowing lanes all the way to the intersection. I think that's an easy, simple thing to do.
And the town would just have to pay over and above the grant for the portion from Park and Ride to 100.
Yes,
And we have capital funds.
yes.
I'm all for doing that, definitely.
Are you pedestrians in agreement with that, Mike?
I just have a question about that speed hump up there and all these discussions.
Yeah.
Where does it stand?
Well, that's what I think
That's what
we're
we're
trying.
talking- that's what we're trying to
We're trying
figure
really
out.
hard not to talk about it because I'm gonna get blasted in the press again. So,
Forget the press. Everybody's
There's no such thing
behind
as
it,
bad
so.
press, though.
there's no such
There
thing.
you go.
Sorry, Lisa, but forget it.
So maybe Karen, can you help us with respect to that speed hump? What we had asked for was something 12 feet wide and 3 inches tall. Is that approximately what would be suggested?
Yeah, you want to make sure that the approach grades are appropriate, so you're not like hitting a wall.
Yeah.
Curb stop,
Yeah.
essentially. But yeah,
Yeah.
that's an appropriate like speed hump.
Okay, and
Not
then
a
what
speed
are the appropriate speeds at which one imagines taking a speed hump? There was a lot of feedback from us, like the speed limit is 25. You should be able to drive over these at 25. This is crazy. Well, not from you guys. You're wrong.
You're gonna test my
I think it
knowledge.
all depends on the vehicle and.
Yeah.
Hang on one
I'd
second.
have to actually look at it
Okay.
to be able to tell you.
Put a counter out there with a speed option on it and find out how many cars are actually doing 25 first.
They're not. They're hitting
Well,
it
that's
at
why they
50
can't make it over the
yes,
speed bump.
yes.
Yeah.
So I guess my question is, coming off of 50 miles an hour and that speed hump as it's now being described, can you give a little feedback on what your thought is on that?
Yeah, this is.
I mean, that transition, obviously the easy one is slow down, but this whole evening has been about the people don't. So I guess from an engineering perspective and the approach coming in, because someone who's new to the area, coming off of 50, coming into a village, if you look at the placement of it and the signage, what would your recommendation be so that someone doesn't fly over it, even if they are able to come off of 50 and hit something like what's being described?
Well-
without becoming airborne or damaging their car or trying to avoid it.
First
No,
off, they're
it's a-
coming off the highway and
Gary,
going down the
But
wrong side of the road.
I'd like to,
I'm
I'd
sorry.
like
Like
to
Karen.
hear from
It
the
is-
engineer perspective.
It is a great question. I think functionally, if you're making that turn where you're supposed to be making that turn at an intersection, your speed is already about 25 miles or less to make that left-hand turn coming, if you're coming south on Route 100 and coming into the village. If you're making that right-hand turn, it's probably even lower of a speed that you're making that maneuver. If you're making a right angle, left hand, or right hand turn. I think that's where the change to the intersection is so critical.
Right, they're basically driving down the wrong side of the road.
So to your point there, Karen, are you suggesting that that speed hump is acceptable and approachable if the intersection is modified? And to Quill's point, is it approachable and acceptable without a modification to the intersection? Is that what you're getting at?
Well, I guess I'm just both. I guess I'm curious about both,
Yeah.
but I guess more of my concern is the quickness that, I mean, the reality of the quickness that happens of someone coming off of 50, being able to slow, like if there's no traffic coming, so
I mean, they should be almost at a stop by
they
the
should
time they
be,
make the
but
turn.
they should be, like we all get that they should be, people shouldn't be speeding through town either, but they are. So I guess my thought is, where's the signage and the warning coming off of 50 that you now need to be at 25 before you basically cross Route 100 in order, with just the space that's allowed to get to a manageable speed that you can handle that hump?
I hear you,
Proximity
but
of
if you
the
are,
hump to
but
Route
if
100.
you are making that turn,
The way the state
you
designed.
should,
Legally.
you should already be at that operating speed.
At 25.
And if you don't know it's 25, you shouldn't be going 50 around that corner anyway. I don't care if you're from Canada or from...
Okay, so I,
Flashing sign in relation to the bump.
yeah, how, sign placement, I think here's what we want, what we know we need. We know that if we're reinstalling the speed hump, we need a specification, and we want, we also want input on sign placement and make sure that what we have done is appropriate.
Yep.
We have followed MUTCD specs as much as they provide them, which I think you know is like
Yep.
pick and choose and then do as you will. And we want to make sure that people are safe. I will say again, and I think I'm quoted in the paper saying it, like, it is the driver's responsibility to slow down and go the speed limit. It is not the fault of the speed hump if you take the speed hump going too fast.
And so the question is, should we accommodate people who don't pay attention to the speed limit? And I say, I have no sympathy for someone who breaks their shocks if they're doing 50 over a speed bump.
Okay.
They do it once.
Thank you, Dave. Mike?
You're welcome.
I observe almost every day, to your question, people coming south on 100, going 50 or faster, and having plenty of time to slow down because they're all nervous about what's left of that bump. They all slow down and plenty of time to creep over the bump. So it's a good question, but it gets solved every day as it sits now. All the stuff will only make it better.
As it sits now, everybody who owns a pickup truck and has a trailer behind them does not slow down. Because they know they can go over it at speed.
Right.
And so all I hear every morning with my window open is everything in the trailer flying up in the air and landing back down in the truck.
So I think we have an understanding that we would like to discuss a demonstration and the reinstallation of the speed hump. I think we will follow up with you on what that means for the rest of our speed humps. If we could please have a conversation or a site visit with that. Do we agree? Have her weigh in on how things are looking in the rest of the village. And we will discuss the striping. It sounds like we agree with the pedestrian and the narrowing of the lanes. I don't think we're at a place right now where we are ready to add any physical obstructions. But let's follow up with the townspeople, maybe if we have room on the 20th, do we have room on the 23rd to have a conversation about traffic calming? Or the 9th, or sorry, the 14th of July, and talk about the stop sign at Brook Road and Main Street, and where we want to see crosswalks. Jess?
And it may be a conversation for a different time, because I do love the idea of the pedestrian striping on the not blind side of the corner, and I think that's
Yes.
wonderful. I do
Yes.
have concerns about everyone that continues to drive and cut the corner on our side, which we've sent
Yes.
emails about, and there's just a lot of erosion, and I mean, the trucks hit our lilacs, which is very close to our, I mean, if you
Yeah.
are taking off lilac bush, you are too close to our yard, so I do worry about, without some sort of
Well, there will
repair
still
of
be
road or curbing, that there's not, that people will eventually just hit the rock wall because they will be moving. So, you know, if that's where the walking band is expanded, which makes sense to me. I just don't know how to protect the erosion on our side and to prevent people from hitting the rock wall that is now against the road essentially. There used to be a solid 12 inches of yard between the rock wall and the travel portion of the road, but people have driven over it so many times, and the way the runoff is there's been erosion, so the next step is that they just run their car into the rock wall.
I think the town should put up this concrete wall, 4 feet high, let them hit it.
Okay, I'm sorry, but we have to table this conversation. We're a half an hour behind schedule.
How do you get the speed limit flashing to coincide with your speed limit?
So, yeah.
I'm sorry, we.
The radar speed feedback sign, you're saying the radar speed feedback sign and the speed hump to be together?
That's what I'm asking,
Oh, okay.
because what I hear is you can't go to the speed limit more than 10 miles an hour, but you have a flashing sign showing the speed, so how do you know how do you work it together?
Well, we can
Those
look at
are-
all of those solutions as we move forward toward this demonstration,
It-
but
it
we
won't
have
be
to
the-
move on right now.
You know.
It
I'm
won't be
sorry.
the same bump as last time. It's a new
It
bump.
won't be the same bump as
A new
last
bump.
time. And
Thank you, Karen.
thank you all very much for
Thank you.
coming.
Well
Karen,
done.
thank you.
Thank you.
We'll
Very
follow up.
helpful.
Will you be available to keep working on this with us?
Yes.
Okay.
We're gonna work on some scope.
Okay, great. And I think we just really want to focus on getting a plan so that we can get things done this year before our grant expires.
Yep.
So timeliness is of the essence.
Excellent.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank
Appreciate
you
it.
all very much. Thank you,
We're
Sherry.
gonna stick around.
Yes, please do.
How
Thank
are
you, Misha. I'm so sorry.
Karen, I know you've worked a lot with Evan and Jen, so.
George potentially unavailable.
Absolutely. So looking forward to hearing more.
Be on Zoom.
Absolutely.
Must we
You're
have it
gonna
on
be
different?
Potentially Zoom.
I did see it, I've gotta get on
Okay,
here.
let's talk about it after.
Can I need to get on here real quick.
Yes, please. Sorry. Do you want me to, I was gonna go away
Try driver's ed,
from this.
remind people where the break is.
Misha, I'm sorry for the delay. I think we at least achieved something on delay.
I think it was very educational for me. I'm sorry for you guys. This is so late.
School bus going on the speed hump because I was told.
Anybody here staying and would like to?
I got past in front of the Warren store, in front of the Falls, going to the post office.
One of them's going pretty fast down West Hill too.
It's not that different. So what I suggest,
I reported it,
considering how late it is and how tired you all might be, is I suggest that we focus on the fact that there's a grant deadline
Yes,
coming up
let's.
on the 12th, this week, on Friday, and we talk about the thoughts that we put together, and then we find another time to look at the big picture
Okay.
things when you guys are not stressed and don't have a lot of agenda. How
That
does that
sounds
sound?
excellent. Please,
So
thank
Misha,
you.
does this grant come up every year? Is that how it works?
It comes up every year, so we have two of these grants that we thought that they might go away,
Yeah.
that are not going away, that are here, and in fact the next one that is coming up in the fall, the amount of that for 1 year only is doubled up was 650,000 limit. The next fall is going to be 1.2 million limit for the first time ever. So, you know, we never know. Well, we were really worried that all of this will go away, and it didn't go away. It just changed its. The rules have changed. We have to talk about. We have to talk about. We have to talk about economic development, safety, and economic development, and not about inclusion and accessibility. But
Okay,
the infrastructure is the same.
Let's start at the beginning.
Yeah. So at the beginning, I understand that we need to hold on with our first mile, and I can understand this. Devin communicated it to me. We want to work together with you in every step of the way. And so we thought of, okay, we have this grant opportunity. Why do we not look at it very differently? Why don't we not put together a group of small improvements for the town of Warren so we don't lose the grant opportunity? So they have a small scale grant, which is up to $150,000 in total. The downside of the small scale, the large scale grant is a 20% local match. The small scale grant is a 50-50 grant. So that's the downside of a small grant. So this is just a list of suggestions of what we can do. I'll quickly go over it. And the first is a map, and it's all numbered right there. First one goes right along with what you just discussed, and it seems like you're already on it. Striping bike lanes and putting bike pedestrian symbols all the way to 100.
Can I ask you a question about this? Because when we were talking about striping the other day, Rebecca and I, we noticed that our current striping has pedestrians. And then I was like, oh, we need bike people, which was funny because I drew them and they were bad. And then I was like, wait, bikes are cars. Should the bikes be using the pedestrian lane in the village, or should they be cars in the village? Like in the world of how we share the road, you know, bikes are typically treated like cars.
In my world, there should be a bike and pedestrian lane that's separate from vehicle, that's separate from traffic, that gives safety to cyclists and pedestrians.
Okay, even in like really low speed zones. Yeah.
We can think about it. I don't think I'm prepared to fully answer this. You give me food for thought.
Yeah, historically, I think it is. Karen, you can weigh in on this too, please, as an expert
I
here.
do think that per the MUTCD and V-Trans standards, we want at least a 4-foot width for a bike lane to be symbolized as a bike lane. Whereas what I think we're suggesting, like for the stretch of Main Street, to be a 3-foot shoulder that we're considering like a pedestrian zone. So, and technically they want 5 feet for that bike lane to be striped as a bike lane.
Okay.
So, whichever lane it is, creating a lane for non-vehicles all the way to 100.
Okay.
We obviously cannot put a 5-foot lane.
No, it can't fit 5 foot. But I wonder if there's a world in which you could draw bike symbols in the car lane.
We can, because the shared
road.
road. We can absolutely do that. So then number 2 is, if we have to wait for a while before we could build the off-road path, what we could do right away, the low cost, is stripe bike lane on 100 to Riverside Park. And if we do that, the V-Trans can allow narrowing of the lanes, travel lanes, from 12 feet to 11 feet, which would create that 4-foot shoulder. And that is fitting with your goals. That's a traffic calming measure. The narrower the road, the slower people would go, because no one likes head-on collisions. So
we would need permission from the state.
Yes, this would be that's the advantage of V-Trans grant. If they give us the grant, they're willing to work with us. We will then work through all the steps necessary for that striping. But it's a kind of like a low-hanging, potentially low-hanging fruit. They may not go for it, but if they do, that also will lead, because we're continuing to create congestion at this intersection by doing all of this. This will lead to the argument of lowering the speed limit. The more we're going to do that, the more people, pedestrians, bicyclists will be at that intersection, the more likely they will. And we did have a meeting with District 6 Director Greg Smith with all representatives from all the town, and we brought it up, and he said, engineer it, we will consider it. And didn't say no, was listen, well, okay. Then,
Yeah.
go
I
ahead.
just was wondering when, like the technical definition, when does a bike become like a motorized vehicle? Is it when you
Like
stop
the-
using propelling power for
When you,
forward motion? You know, I just think
yes,
about
when
it
you're
as,
not, when it's not a pedal assist bicycle, but when it's a bicycle, it looks like a bicycle, but you're gonna sit on this with a throttle, that's not a bicycle anymore.
so anybody who's using their bicycle without pedaling would still use the motorized
They're not.
portion of the, because I just think, you know, like some of those go pretty fast if you have road bikes and all of these other people, so how do you,
Some states make
Define
those
it.
mopeds.
but,
You have to get a license for them.
Human powered bikes, you can get.
Yeah,
There's
you
class 1
can,
and class
so.
3, you have to pedal.
Yeah,
Class
so
2 bikes, you do not.
the state already has defined it.
They have, okay.
And there are rules
It's on-
about it, and like all the rest of the rules that we create in the state, they're not enforced. So what I'm here with, I'm saying, let's find ways to really make things work. This is what all this is about.
Yeah.
Because number 3 would be 4-foot passing signs going, and that's the law that Vermont passed 2 years ago, that motorists need to give pedestrians and bicyclists 4 feet when passing. Except that after passing this law, nothing happened. There's no enforcement, there's no signage. State has created a sign.
Dave, you have a question or a comment?
Well, you know, from my experience, there's one section by Ralston Road where the white line is there and then there's nothing.
Welcome to Vermont.
I biked it, and it's not funny, because I called up the state, I broke a rim in Waitsfield, following the white line with a hole in it, and I went right to the state, I called the governor, I called the Secretary of State, and I said, you're putting bicycle lanes with freshly painted lines, and you got a hole in your line. If I follow that, I broke my rim.
Yeah.
And they said, we're sorry, you got damaged. I could have got killed. They don't care. When you get to Ralston Road, there is no lane southbound. None.
Well, I think we have plenty of room between Main Street and Riverside Park on Route 100.
It was only when he said both ways, I'm going, how do you get to Waitsfield?
Well, I love the idea of both ways because the thing that always, I think we run into a lot is like with the pedestrian shoulders in the village, people are trained to walk against traffic and it feels really strange to walk on the same side with your back to traffic. So I think this is an improvement.
I do too. I think it's great.
So just to wrap this up, this every one of these items says small cost, 4-foot passing signs, 6 of those signs, 3 in each direction, about $3,000, wayfinding signage about $2,000, and then $5,000 would be to improve that section from the underpass of Kingsbury Greenway for accessibility from the underpass to the parking area. Altogether, it's $28,000 with contingency added because this is an estimate, and this would be local match of $16,790 if we get the grant. The work from this grant has to be done within 1 calendar year, so it's not like a 3-4 year thing. It's a 1 year thing. No money goes to admin. All the money from a grant like this goes to materials and labor. So it's a lot faster process. And we thought, our team, we just thought that while we are working on our big plans, can we make small improvements that move us all forward and meet the town's plan needs and move the path forward. So that's what I have, and I wonder if there are any questions.
I think we could, hold on.
Thanks, Gary.
We could pull this out of the improvement capital budget.
Town improvements.
I like it. So there's still the discussion of the 400 matching grant for that, or that's off the table now?
Let's
Good.
You guys want to talk about, you want to bring it to the voters? I'm in full support of bringing it to the voters.
Yeah.
I just don't want us to lose momentum. I want us to do what we can do.
Yeah.
So what happens in Waitsfield if you don't connect?
We will. We just need to. We will connect.
Not on 100, not by Ralston Road. The road's not wide enough for both sides. I'm telling you.
We believe you. We're not laughing at you. We're
No. Let's. I just want to respect everybody. Let me show you when.
Okay.
I'll show you all the maps and then I'll show you how we get around Ralston Road.
Okay.
There's a plan for this.
Oh,
absolutely.
yeah. It's not our town, so it really is outside the discussion. But I tried that road and it's like, man, I'm taking my life in my hands, literally.
You're absolutely hurt on that. This is
okay.
Just
okay.
I'm a big fan of doing this.
I like it.
What are your thoughts,
appreciate
Joel?
your effort and I applaud it.
Yeah. Any comments from the audience?
I think this is great.
I'm just curious about how the bike lanes on Route 100, they are sort of very specifically creating continuity between the village and Riverside Park. Is that something that Waitsfield's going to be using in any capacity while we work toward plans like we talked about, separate?
And so we will.
Or does it need to happen anywhere else?
If we make this improvement, and we are improving this Kingsbury Greenway this season, which we are doing this work.
Yeah.
And we are next year improving with our own fundraising and private foundations, the Cloudwater Farm, Yestermore Path, Bundy Road Connector 2, and now we are at Medbush Falls.
Yeah.
This is the kind of progress we're making. We are already creating a lot of continuity that will open doors for more different funding, because when we're making progress, people like to
Yeah.
help. Or if we're just talking about making progress, then we're gonna start losing momentum, so.
The other thing I don't see on here, Misha, that I guess I expected you to continue to ask for was funding for the demonstration across Route 100. But does that become moot if we are striping bike lanes and that's why?
No, because I thought that you guys were, maybe I misunderstood. I'm sorry that I didn't put it in, because I thought that you guys, I was under the impression that you were going to fund the demonstration. I'm sorry.
Oh, I think we were planning on talking about it tonight,
Okay.
so do you want to just toss that back out?
Yes, well, based on everything that we've heard, I think that that's should be part of what we do, because you already just discussed it, that that's what you all
Yeah.
want to do.
Yeah,
The grant cannot pay for demonstration
it
projects.
can't.
No.
Okay, so it's not part
It
of
has
this.
to be,
so-
grant is for permanent improvements. If it's something that's out there for 2 weeks,
Okay,
yeah, that has to be funded.
yes, Jess.
I mean, I think the bikers are on the road regardless, right? So I think that the striping makes sense. They're gonna be there, so we might, and I don't see any reason to not give them lanes to safely use. I do wonder about the gravel path under the pass. Is that in a flood area, like zone? Is that something that's just gonna like be washed away if we put, we spend the $5,000 is fairly nominal when we consider town budgets and things, so it is, but I'm just wondering, like, is that?
We are improving, we were able to raise money to improve Kingsbury Greenway for accessibility from Riverside Park to the bridge. This will just complete it all the way to the parking area and would allow a child to learn how to ride their bike, or somebody who push the stroller, just do basic things, wheelchair through that section of the path. And everything in the Medway Valley is in the flood area, so it depends on what kind of flood we're talking about.
Yeah, I just meant like the regular like floods we
No, regular flood wouldn't go there.
I mean, the 500 or 100 or century
25-year floods.
So that we see yearly now are a little bit
Yeah.
different, but I just was wondering, if there was.
There's a flood map that was done by previously, years ago. I had a copy, and it showed the plane
Yes.
that the, was it Army Surveyors? Army Corps of Engineers?
Army Corps of Engineers.
Did that?
Yep. I have to imagine there's a new one.
Because then, that's when you had to sell your plot. That's when your property was sold, right? Or however that, I don't remember, but you kind of said you can't live here.
Well, we made the choice, but yes.
But it was,
We were.
Now we
Yeah,
swim
it
there.
is.
Thank you, Quill.
yeah.
Okay, so,
I'm sorry.
yeah, please, Adam.
I'm just thinking, we were talking earlier about how people going northbound on 100 are going really fast. If we could potentially take the bike lane striping and extend it past the intersection to Von Braun Road, maybe that narrowing measure on both sides with the bike lane would help slow people down also coming towards the intersection.
But then does it just stop?
That's the thing, it's kind of weird because it's just kind of ends.
I don't think you'd want to, like the bike road with the I would think you would stop it at the.
Main Street.
Like naturally you want to
At the
stop it at Main
crosswalk.
Street because that's where everyone's, that's.
And doing this bike lane will help to create the crossing of 100,
Yeah.
because if there's a bike lane, southbound bike lane, it is safer to have a crosswalk to dismount and walk than it is to
Yes.
make a left-hand turn.
I mean, unless you were gonna carry it all the way down to
The other
the
end.
south end of the village and then
Yeah.
have a crossing there for.
Let's start,
But
let's start with
that
what
would
we've
be
got
cool.
here.
Yeah.
Misha, what's the timeline on this grant?
This is Friday is our application deadline, and we have everything ready except for letters of support. As you know, your
Yeah.
letter would be
I
important.
didn't mean the deadline for applying.
Okay.
What's the?
The funding, they would announce funding in the middle of August.
Oh,
That's great.
so this could also potentially help pay for some of the striping from Riverside Park
Correct.
to the,
Correct. It
Route
should
100.
free up some of the other things, so hopefully making demonstration project possible to
Yeah.
fund the demonstration project. We're ready to send that application if you guys approve and
And the demonstration isn't part of the application, so we can continue to talk about that with
Correct.
Karen, how we want to build that, and we should
work-
loop you into that.
Yeah, absolutely. We should work together. So
Yeah,
we submit a strong application for demonstration, yes.
Okay. What do you guys think?
So the demonstration we're thinking is 10K or less, given the.
Well, I think Karen's probably going to help us work through a budget for that, I would
Yeah.
imagine, right? That would be part of the work with
We can come up
VHB.
with what that would look like for the intersection.
If we're
But
gonna,
we're talking
For-
less than 10K.
We,
We're not talking more than 10K.
that was for the crosswalk demonstration. Karen, what we
it's a
talked about
different
tonight is also the potential realignment of Route 100, so I imagine it might be a
Coincide.
little bit more than 10,000.
Oh, I see, because we're doing both as part
If
of
we
the
do
same.
both. I don't know though.
I'd have to put numbers to it.
Yeah.
What if we all donate cones?
there we go. There's no,
But Harvey,
no,
my
reason,
question-
no reason not to.
My,
No.
my question was really about this
This one.
scope of work.
Oh, yeah.
What you guys think?
I'm all in, yeah. We can pull it from the capital account, so.
The town improvements capital
Yeah,
account. Is that a motion?
I move to approve the 50% match of this grant,
Up to,
providing the funds from the improvements capital account, up to $16,790.
want to give it 1750?
How about
17.5?
17,500? Yeah,
Or, you know,
sure.
what do you think?
I'll second that.
Does that feel like a good number?
It's great. I appreciate your support if it goes through.
Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I think the more pressure we put on the state in both these areas.
I agree.
Thanks, Misha.
And what I'm thinking of is, what about a
Thank you,
citizen
Misha.
writing campaign of the Warren residents saying, we're tired of you not enforcing your own laws and not having the roadway taken care of and the potholes that are now into July, well, June, it'll be July before they even come with the cold patch. You know, it's like, we're paying taxes.
Did you get back from the?
We should be complaining. I complain.
Well, let's give them some. They just did really amazing job sweeping the sides of 100 in all the
I
way.
mean, praise them.
No, but they done it in November. In my first 3 years here, they done it in October or November, and it's done. It was done by June 1st.
This is silver lining. We like this. Thank
Yeah.
you, Misha. And Dave, we are building an arsenal to bring to V-Trans. So thank you, we are.
You want me to go with you?
No,
No.
with all due respect.
I just want you to know, I am a licensed professional engineer in New York, have not practiced and then renew it, and 38 and a half years of mechanical engineering experience, and I'm not full of bullshit, you know? It's the state.
It's your delivery, Dave. It's just the delivery.
Oh, I don't like talking.
You're very passionate.
Thank you for coming and participating. We're gonna move on. If anyone wants to chat further about any of these traffic calming things, please take yourselves to the hallway.
On the agenda?
We're on to other business. We have more to do.
Good night, everybody.
Thank you, Misha. Thank you, Karen. We'll be in touch. This is when the mass exodus occurs. Thank you very much.
Thank you for keeping me
The
in
children are.
It's my pleasure. It is my pleasure. Thank you for being agreeable.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jess.
Thank you.
Thanks for making time. What'd you do, your mom?
Yeah.
Yay, moms. Moms are the best.
Happy birthday, Mom.
Happy birthday,
Watch my
Mom.
kids.
Watch my kids.
I'm gonna go talk about our speed hump.
Okay, pour her a bottle of wine. Glass of wine, not a bottle, glass.
You know, who's to say?
You might have already had one.
All right, town garage update. We made it through the pile of rubbish.
Yes.
We were given approval to reuse the dirt.
Yes.
And they are crushing and including concrete. So we have minimized the cost expense of the unforeseen rubbish.
Done.
What did he do? What was that comment about the concrete? I mean, I hear him. so I
We're
don't know.
crushing
Crushing, okay.
concrete that came out of the hole where we're digging the footings
Okay.
and putting it back in the hole with dirt, sifting out
That's what the
all
crushing
of the
is going
trash.
on
Yes.
every day
Yeah.
from
Yes.
7 to 5 o'clock at night.
Yes, within the bounds of the
I
Act
didn't
250
even
permit.
complain about that.
Thank you
Appreciate
so
it.
much.
Because there's
Love that.
progress.
Yes, there is progress. And I think it affected our schedule 3-ish days.
That's it?
I think so.
Wow.
Yep. And we saw a preliminary cost increase of about $11,000, but there was still more to do. So
Yep.
in the world of excavation, this is great news. Bridge 30 repair postponement.
Yep, so, Parent Construction was here for the last few weeks doing the sidewalks, which looked phenomenal. He said after seeing the amount of traffic that flows through here, he thinks that it would be better if we postponed the Bridge 30 repair to the spring of 27.
30 is the one
That's down by Trout Hollow. Yep. And he, they looked at the inspection report from the state, and they don't see any reason to postpone. There's no emergent need to do it, this year. And getting the news about the West Hill Bank Stabilization Project budget approval, I feel that project should come first, and then because that's based on a grant, and that one is not. So
But wait,
what
the
was the
best
logic?
part of the news is
that Parent will honor the price that they put in place for the bridge repair
For the bridge?
for next year.
next
Okay.
spring.
So,
They're gonna hold the price.
but what was the logic for not having to do it this year, that there's too much traffic?
It's just a lot of traffic that comes through here.
Yeah.
And it was, they didn't realize, the flow of traffic
Gotcha.
this time of year. And they were gonna plan to do it late fall, and he's predicting that there will be just as much, if not more,
Well,
traffic
he
late
saw
fall.
a lot of traffic with
Yeah.
the other sidewalk.
Exactly.
And this was calmer.
And he feels like the spring, it's they can still work and do demolition
Yeah.
even if it's really cold.
April.
Yeah. So.
That's good,
And
good for us.
from a budget perspective, if we're doing the West Hill Bank stabilization project,
Yep.
that precipitates the paving. If you recall,
Correct.
Andrew
Which
was
was
saying
the
he wanted to do the
800
paving
or
on West Hill.
Yep. So Andrew and I are wondering if we can get the go-ahead to put out an RFP to pave the East Warren Schoolhouse parking lot, West Hill, once the bank stabilization project is done, and then Roxbury Mountain and part of Senor.
What does that all add up to?
And we don't
know.
We don't know. Pike came and gave Andrew an estimate on tonnage. I haven't seen that yet, but those are the projects that he would like to do.
I think that's
this
in
year.
line with what he suggested during
Yeah.
budget
What's the
season.
section on Seymour? What's in the Going or something like that?
What is the section?
I think it's very minimal. So I don't think it's very
Senor
much.
isn't currently paved.
No, I think it's just basically the entrances.
Okay.
Oh, the aprons?
The aprons. Yeah. So
So the town's gonna pave the parking lot at the,
East Warren Schoolhouse.
Woohoo!
the country store.
No, we own the parking
We own
lot
the-
and
we
the
own
building.
it.
We own the building and
We
the
own the
parking
building.
lot.
Okay.
In the parking lot, yeah.
But I remember someone saying the town, some people said they didn't want to pave 10
Dave.
years ago.
I know.
Okay.
It's a lot of maintenance
No, I always wanted to pave.
for the highway department, and
I grew up on a dirt road.
yeah,
And we didn't have mud season.
Yeah.
it'll prevent a lot of the dust and the
Yeah.
the grind.
I agree, I just didn't realize
I
it.
think
It's
we're excited.
getting painted and stuff this year, so yeah.
Talk about a speed hump
Yeah, the main
entering
argument,
in that parking lot.
Yeah.
the main argument is that there's never enough. The parking lot is always full and they can't grade it.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
the idea is that if they can pave it, then they don't have to worry about grading it anymore.
Right.
And it's also a park and ride, right?
Yes.
It is also parking ride, yep.
And so then when we talk about striping, we need to make sure that when we stripe it, that we allocate spaces for said park and ride. And then we
So
have
do we
enough.
need a motion for that, or we just?
I don't know if
I don't
you
think
need a
so.
motion just
No.
to give Andrew
Get
and I the go ahead
RFPs.
Please
to
go get quotes.
do an RFP. Right. Try to
I
get
just
that
want
out
to loop back to West Hill Bank Stabilization. This is a project that has been on the docket for
since 21.
since 21,
Since
since I
before I
got on the
started.
board, and there's been one thing after the other that didn't work out,
Yep.
and it's really needs doing because it's falling down the hill.
Yeah,
and
so
this
we
is
had to go back to FEMA and get a budget modification for obvious reasons, because when it was quoted back in 21, obviously the prices now
Yeah.
don't,
lot more,
don't
yeah.
match up.
Yeah.
And so we finally got the go ahead on Thursday, that FEMA approved it. And so.
That's great.
Yeah.
So they'll close the road when they're doing that?
They'll still close the section, yeah, it'll be locked.
I don't care if it's closed all winter.
Yeah.
Dave, you're gonna be
And
so
I
happy.
think the town crew would love that.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I love that
It's
road.
not funny. That road is the main way up and down
It
to
is.
Sugarbush.
Yeah.
It's not funny.
So
Nobody's laughing at you.
the state,
Oh, he was.
the state is going to stabilize it, and then we'll pave it.
No,
Or FEMA's going to pave it.
we have a grant,
We have a grant.
to stabilize
Yeah,
it.
stabilize it.
Yeah.
Kingsbury is doing the work.
Kingsbury and GSI
GSI.
is doing the work. And they've already
GSI
scoped
do
it out and
that's the shock
the
crate
geostabilization. Yeah, exactly.
stabilization. They bore in and pin.
Yeah.
They use all kinds of methods to like.
I can send you some
Hold
of
the road.
the pictures of, examples that they'll do.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And we did it on the access road.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's that bridge where you can see the shotcrete.
Right.
That was GSI in Kingsbury.
Yep.
Good.
So
Awesome. Good job. Way to go.
Yeah.
it's been a long time coming.
Thanks,
on
Mark.
that
Long
one.
time coming.
It's been crazy.
Okay, we are going to be inundated with appeals to reappraisals. And as members of the select board, we are also members of the Board of Civil Authority. There is a training available for Board of Civil Authority and specifically with respect to the reappraisal process. I've taken it.
Yep, I've taken it. Brent's taken it.
Brent's taken it, a bunch of people have taken it. Have you guys had an opportunity to do that?
So there's another webinar coming up on the 17th.
There's one after that too, right?
I don't know the answer to that.
I think so.
And I think we can expect to start seeing hearings in July. So it would be awesome if you guys could take the training. I think it was
Yeah.
really helpful. We did it virtually.
I think I would have gotten more out of it if I had gone in person, but that's just the level of my interruptions here in this building. So, but I still got a lot out of it. Brent said it was super helpful, and they have 200 plus grievances right now.
So this is June 17th, there's one?
I think that's true, yeah. So that would be awesome.
I can.
And then I also want us to note that we are going to have a lot of meetings for those things, and we need to be mindful not to take on too much at the board level.
Yeah. That being said,
June 23rd.
You should talk about the June 23rd meeting and sort of maybe even what July looks like, because I know.
Yeah, so
a lot of
can we
people kind of
chat
do
through
vacation.
what our schedules look like for the foreseeable future? I have conveniently scheduled all of my vacations around select board meetings. I don't even know how I did that. Whether that's good or bad, I'm not sure. So I'm here.
I am not here on the 23rd, like I said.
I'll zoom in.
You
On
can
the
zoom in?
23rd, yeah.
Okay. Joel, do you think it's possible for you to zoom in on the 23rd, or should we talk about maybe rescheduling that meeting?
I think it might be possible because I'm going to be. I'll just make it possible. I think.
Are you sure? 'Cause if
I will
it-
try.
if it were easier
I'm not
for
gonna be able
you-
to tell you right this second because.
A day, okay, so why don't you let us know, because if it's something that we could do a day later or earlier, or maybe the 16th, I don't know, what would work?
Oh, you mean have a meeting on the 16th instead of the 23rd?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'd totally be here next Tuesday.
It's fine. I'd be here in person as well, if you want to do that.
What do we have on the 23rd meeting? Do you
I
have it pulled
will
up?
not be able to come on time, but I will get things ready. I have Feel Lucky Camp that week, so.
Oh,
it's
okay.
5 to 7.
Okay,
But I can have everything ready for you guys. I'll just
Yeah.
be, a little bit late-ish.
that's okay.
Or you
We
can
could
figure out
take
how to do
notes.
stuff without me.
I don't know if we can do that. Rebecca, we did that. I did that.
It didn't go well.
On the
It was
23rd,
difficult.
we have, come on, computer, work with me. We just had capital plan policy per, Harvey's suggestion.
Okay, and we are potentially following up on the Green Mountain Stage
Yeah.
Race permit, and we could revisit traffic calming on the 16th.
So
Instead
the
of the
decision
23rd.
point is deciding,
What we want to strike. that's part of the grant,
Yeah.
which means looking back through, do you have it?
So my big
This
question
one?
was, do we have to have that new hump installed before we do, if we have to do all the striping at the same
I would really love to
time?
have the hump installed if we're installing it before we stripe.
But I just don't want the hump, if it gets delayed,
Yeah.
to preclude us, to get us into November and then they can't stripe because it's too cold kind of thing.
So we have tentatively said to the striping people to plan on August?
I haven't said anything to them,
Oh,
but that we wanted to be on their schedule this summer.
right.
Because those humps really should be
They
striped
absolutely should be
Yeah.
stripped.
sooner than later.
Mhm.
Can they put a non-invasive, non-problematic hump in really quickly so we could stripe it?
Well, we could discuss, was it ECI?
Mm-hmm.
ECI, who was just here doing the paving. We could have a conversation
Who we
with them.
love.
Yeah. Well, we love Parent and they work with ECI. So
Okay.
they recommended ECI. And did you chat with them?
I did not have a chance.
So we need to make a phone call and see. And then that, I mean, so that argues for like on the 16th, do we talk about the humps and what we're gonna do with what has been left? And is that enough time for Karen to participate in that conversation? Yes, Claire.
I don't think so, but.
It's just one hump that we're talking about.
Well,
At this-
we're talking about that one, but the question has been raised to me at least, what are we doing with the other ones?
The Brook Road.
Yeah, the one by the bridge primarily. Cliff, you had a
So are the humps, like,
These are extra.
they're
They-
definitely, it's happening, it's a done deal?
No, it's not definitely happening or a done deal. We're talking about what it looks like to talk about them.
So that would be potentially on the next meeting that you're
That's what we're talking
potentially
about, yeah. And whether that's the 16th or the 23rd.
The man that couldn't be here on the 23rd from the stage race said
He might be.
he might be available on the 16th, which would help out that situation.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay,
I don't know,
well,
just
let's
as a-
let's
just as
shoot
an
for the
idea.
16th then, instead of the 23rd. If that's okay with everybody.
I like it.
I can definitely
Let me
do
make
that.
sure it's okay with me. I'm away, just kidding. I'm not.
Is that okay to, if we change the meeting like that? Does
We,
that-
we are allowed to do that.
Yeah, as long as we warn it ahead of time.
Yeah.
16th. Okay, and then we just need to get in touch with Karen and ask her if she could take a look at the other humps, because what we want to know is locations, profiles, signage. Okay, what's next?
New items?
The stone for the East Warren Cemetery parking lot, delivery by the highway department.
Oh. So the cemetery commission has made a request to the road crew to bring a load of inch and a half minus, our usual gravel.
Usual gravel.
Yeah, the inch and a half minus that we use for the roads, up to the parking area on the East Warren Road Cemetery. You know, the one that's right on the side of the road. Apparently, according to Charlie, this was a request made of the board some 4 years ago and has not been fulfilled.
However, I'm gonna make a caveat. I've talked to Andrew about this on Monday, and he said a lot of times when deliveries get made, then it's, but can you do this, and can you do this, and can you do this? So Andrew wants, if you approve this, he wants some stipulations put around it, so that it's one load of gravel, and they're not staying to do anything
Spread
else.
it or.
Charlie said to me, I asked him to put it in an email with you.
He doesn't
He doesn't
email.
have email. I asked him to tell Rebecca so she could put it in an email, but none of that happened.
He claims that he wants one load of gravel
Delivered.
and he will spread it with his own machine.
Great. The question is, one, do we want to authorize the road crew to do that? And two, are we giving it to them or are they paying for it? The cemetery commission has their own budget. Technically, I think Andrew said we would charge them the FEMA rate for a load of gravel against their account.
I think we should charge them.
I agree.
What's a FEMA rate, like $400 or?
Well, it includes trucking.
Trucking, personnel, gravel.
So I don't know what that is, but I think we should
They
just,
have a bank account.
yeah,
They should pay
follow the
for it.
procedure.
Yeah.
And I would ask that they tailgate spread it.
What does that mean?
It means that
Drive
they
while you dump it.
drive while they don't.
Oh,
Yeah.
and you can set the tailgate with the chain so that only so much comes out at once.
I can ask.
You said he wanted specific parameters.
I know.
Please,
But I think-
tailgate spread, one.
You know, is it
load.
one load, is it two loads?
One load.
Okay.
Please tailgate spread one load of gravel at the East Warren.
14
at
yards,
the
or what are the
East Warren
trucks?
Cemetery.
14 yards, 16 yards, how many?
14 to 16,
14.
depending on weight.
One truck, one load.
Thank you, board,
Got it.
not Devin.
What's that?
It's not me telling them what to do. Okay, good? Other business?
Nope,
Done?
Done.
Sign stuff?
Sign away.
Sign away.
Whew.
Joel, do you want me to sign you up for that training?
Well, can you be here on the 16th?
It's webinar.
That's great.
I hope so.
Okay.
Can I get a recording of it? They must record.
Let me look, because did we get a recording of that? Of the BCA? Because then you can sort of watch it at your own
I didn't
leisure.
get one in my inbox.
Is it about being certified? Like you have to you get like a certificate for doing
No.
it, so they want you to show up. So
I wonder though if it's not on the website.
No. Okay, this is you.
this is really a new job.
And
Can I read letters?
Harvey, I don't think I got to introduce you to Jeremiah. Jeremiah, Harvey Blake.
Hi. Nice to meet you.
Thank you for sitting through our meeting. This is a relatively exciting one, isn't it?
Yeah, there you go.
We're ready, Joel.
Move to approve accounts payable for $6,384,569.85.
That's the state payment. Thank you.
Thanks. Nice to meet you.
Yes, it's the state payment.
Yeah.
6.3.
No,
Second?
I'm unpaid.
Harvey seconds?
Second.
Oh, way down.
And then there's another one for 78,000 for a list of.
That brings our bank account down to pretty much zero,
It's on the corner.
Does it?
And there sits at the dump.
which is good. That means we still
Airport
have,
and airport traffic.
we haven't borrowed, we didn't have to borrow to pay it.
All those in favor?
There's something
Aye.
there.
I'm in between Potato Hill and the corner.
Joel? Aye.
Move to approve payroll for $32,006.56.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. I did not get to look at the minutes from May. Did anyone else get to look at the minutes from May?
No.
Rebecca sent them this morning.
Yeah, she isn't. If you can look at them before next week,
Great.
just get them signed. They're on the website as a draft, but.
Okay, good. And then these are capital requests, so we are finished? We're
Yeah,
finished.
we're finished.
Do we have a motion to adjourn?
I move to adjourn the meeting.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
And good night.